What's up, everyone? We are live for another episode of Spin from the Real. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me as always is Chris Anthony Lopez and Shug.
What's going on? What's going on? How's it? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
No, I can't.
Okay, cool. God damn you, Chris Lopez. God damn you, Chris Lopez.
We want spin. Yeah. Spin, baby. What's good? Hold up.
Oh, God. What does he have?
This is the Connor Breedlove recommendation. Coors Seltzer. I've had Pixar on
Down it right now. Take it to the head. Let's go, Chris. Let's go, Lopez.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
We're a show full of alcoholics minus me, aren't we?
There we go. That's what I like to do. That's how we need to start the show every week.
That's a
it's me and Chris down in a beer. That's how we're going to start the show.
Terrible idea.
Holy God.
Great idea.
I'm surprised they didn't get it all over me.
Woo. You sound like you're about to choke.
Oh, man. I just ate before this. That wasn't good. Woo! I'm fine. I'm okay. I'll live. But what's up, spinsters? I'm good. I'm hanging out. I'm rocking.
You're struggling right there, bro. You struggling.
I'm good.
You're struggling.
I'm fine.
No, I'm glad I was able to make it because for a while there, it looked like I might not be able to. And what's up, Corey?
What's up, brother? What's up, Bubba? Wow, boy, summer. You already know, Corey. You already know, baby.
That's right. What's up, Corey? Cameron, how you doing, buddy?
But no, I'm glad I was able to make it. There was going to be some scheduling conflicts. That's why I'm not on the thumbnail. But we got a good show for you tonight. But of course there's some house cleaning up top. So I just want to start it off with some of the sadder news, and you can go get the full details in the video that I'm about to mention. But Really Scared will be taking a hiatus, and it's slightly extended hiatus. If you want full details, you can go on to the video posted on our YouTube and check out the full details for that. I know Connor and Taylor both have a lot going on, and we all want the best for them. So make sure you go check that out, and we can't wait to add Really Scared back to the schedule when things come along. Secondly, our Fast and the Furious review is up. Go check that out after the show. I was lucky enough to see that today. I'm really excited for you guys to check it out and actually see the film itself because, my God, that's all I'll say for now. Go watch the review. And then, as always, Fridays, Wrestle Real. Saturdays is Real Talk.
Saber Reels.
Sorry, I was thinking of Sunday. Saturdays is Saber Reels. Sundays is Real Talk. This Real Talk may be different because I may just bring on some people to talk about Fast this week. Because as far as I know, Nick hasn't been able to schedule a guest, and I want to be able to talk about that movie with people because there's a lot to unpack there. So,
rad. Well, we have a lot going on here on the channel. Yeah, Really Scared has to take a little bit of a break ski for a variety of reasons, but we're gonna find the time to fill gaps.
Yes, and last thing, this Saturday, 250 sub celebration. At this rate, it might end up being 275 because that's how fast it's going. So yeah, be sure to be there this Saturday. We have some announcements to make, some new stuff to show, and yeah.
You already know. See, what we're doing over here on Why. Yeah, like our sub count is growing ever so fast and furious, but like things happen and we all have lives. And I think Taylor put it perfectly in the video that he released earlier today. Like when we all started doing it. No, I'm good, Jeff. I'm good. I was put on the spot. I wasn't gonna not do it.
You didn't have to do it though. That's the thing.
You should put me on the spot. I got to do what I got to do. Oh, but Taylor put it perfectly.
Chris Anthony Lopez's mother didn't raise no. Okay.
No,
so
she didn't.
He went. So he's like a man. He took the drink, and that's how we're gonna start. Spin from the Real every Monday from now on. I'm gonna grab beer.
The money.
Yeah.
Next time I go on that show too. When they have their loser show, I will happily down some seltzers before I go on. But Taylor put it perfectly in the video that was released not too long ago, like half an hour ago. when everybody started doing all this crazy stuff.
Minus Nick and I.
Say what?
I said minus Nick and I.
Like when we all started doing this crazy stuff, it was a lot of we had a lot of free time on our hands, and especially that's how as it is now, that's how it blew up and how it is now. Jeff in the chat, Chris about to blast fix you for several hours alone in this room, a single tear down his face. No, man, I'm good. Shout out to Coldplay, poster in the back. Yep, I saw them in concert and it was great. But with things opening back up in life, like all of us getting a grasp on our life, just things are going to happen, and we have to make changes as we go. And yeah, we tried. We plan to announce a lot of things this Saturday, and we are going to make some announcements. But some things had to happen sooner, and it is what it is. We'll go. We're going to change as we go. But that's how a lot of folks are. I forget who said it. I think our guest who will join us shortly. She also said it to me when I popped up on her show. So it's going to be weird going forward, and we'll see how everything goes. What's up, Anthony in the chat? I see you. Jesse in the chat. I see you. But this whole podcasting space is going to change because a lot of folks are having their lives back. The Schmodown, like on top of that, and like whatever the hell. Like I do wrestling every Friday. I gotta watch all the wrestling. Hell in the Cell was yesterday, and I only watched like half the matches. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening, but we're here, spin from the reel, we're talking some Schmodown. I'm one core seltzer in. That hurt me like a mofo, but our guest has joined us, and I'm excited to talk to her.
Yes. So without further ado,
as I drip,
we have the one and the only Christy V.
Hi, guys.
Finally!
Wow. Yeah, look at this applause. Long time no see, Chris. How you doing?
I know, right? What's going on? So, I mean, Chrissy, I want to start this interview off just by asking you a question I think a lot of people have on their brains. Is it Chrissy? Is it Christy? Christina? Do I call you Chris like me? Like, where's the line drawn? I've referred to you by several different names over the last 24 hours.
My official Schmodown name is Christy V with a TY because Chrissy V does adult entertainment. So we're going to stick with the Christy.
Gotcha.
Oh, wow. We don't need fans Googling that name.
Yeah. It was brought to my attention before my first match. One of my family friends was like, yo, are you Chrissy or Christy? Because, girl, you got to check this. I was like, no, Christian, make sure it's with a T, please.
Sheesh. That's nuts. Because when... I mean, go check out Digesting
What's up,
Cinema.
Anthony Nugent?
What's going on, Anthony? I see you in the chat. But yo, that's nuts because I think I referred to you by multiple different names even then. But her name's
totally
Christina.
fine.
I know that. I know her name's Christina. Like
in real life, I'm Christina. I wanted to just keep my name, a little bit more personal with putting it out on the internet. I didn't even catch that. Was it funny?
That's pretty funny.
She's a little distracted. I think. Right. I mean, geez, that's our show in a nutshell. We immediately get sidetracked. But Christy V, I mean, welcome to Spin from the Reel. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Yeah. We've been trying to get you on for months now because you played someone who I guess he's around. He's hanging around the channel, whatever the hell. But for you just jumped into the Schmodown with someone with Peggy and Amaru and with Jacoby, who we'll talk about Jacoby a little bit later. But all y'all jumped into this as a group. And I want to know where you started off, at least just Schmodown watching wise, because all of us are fans. I feel like all the rookies, for the most part, came in as fans.
Yeah.
And was that the case for you?
Definitely. So I'm just a regular person I teach middle schoolers. Like I don't have anything to do with the entertainment world.
So you don't act?
No, this is my character is pretty much just my personality. I just like to be a little sassy. My husband is the one that started watching it, and he's the big movie buff in the family. And he was like, this show is fun. Let's watch this. And we've just been hooked ever since. And we've gone to live events. And then eventually, Christian kind of threw out there on the Facebook group that he wanted to get more women involved. And I was like, well, I'm a woman. So, let me shoot my shot. The worst they're going to tell me is no. Right. So I made my audition video, and next thing I knew, I was getting a tag from literally. I got the alert on my phone, like Christian Harloff tagged you in a post, and I was like, "Well, Christian Harloff doesn't know who I am, so why would he be tagging me in a post?" And the rest is history. Then I was on the draft list, and then Peggy, Rue, and Jacoby got on the official list, and Peggy's like, yo, we got to market this. Like, there's 4 of us. We got to band together. We got to do all 4 of us. And I'm like, okay, but like, I'm not as good as you guys. So it's okay. You 3 can do your own thing. I'm just here to like hype everybody up. Like, I'm good to go with that.
So you got the nod though. Like, and in January, like we were all watching the draft, and then they say Christy V's name, or they might have referred to as another name, but we're not going to get back to that. Yeah. But when Christy V got announced, like, what was it like a holy shit? Am I in this thing now? Like, what?
Yeah, it was, because Rue got picked second, which I'm still mad about. If I ever meet Sam, I'm going to yell at him because the outfit I was wearing was uncomfortable, and I was like, I'm going to change real quick. And I was like, Sam didn't talk to anybody. He's not going to pick Rue second overall. Let me just run real quick. And like, I run downstairs to everybody on our Zoom call, like screaming like, Rue got picked. I'm like, damn. So I missed that. Peggy got picked up from the den. We were all talking and Kate said it so fast. So we totally missed Peggy getting picked up. It wasn't until Mark Ellis was like, all right, Peggy Cummins, you're going to the den. And we were like, shit. Jacoby gets picked up from the Stars. I'm so hyped because I'm like, dude, you get to like hang out with Janine and Jeff and Andreko. Like, you're going to be on there. And then it was like, everybody else kept getting drafted. And I was like, you know what? That's cool. Like, my friends got picked up. I have no issue with that, whatever. And then I think I was like second to last. I think I was like 55th overall. And Roxy's like, come on, girl. And I was like, oh, yes, I made it. Somebody picked me. Thank God. This isn't embarrassing.
So no, I think you absolutely belong in the league. I mean, you had your match against Triple R, and look, you know, for a rookie and for your first match, sure, there was probably nerves and everything, and I think you can speak to more to that, but you didn't go away quietly in the night, and you played a good match. You know, it maybe wasn't the ideal match, but you absolutely belong, and it's great to have you in the league. You're so supportive of not only your faction, but the Fan League 4 and other female competitors. So you're like a really good breath of fresh air. Taylor Cleek in the chat. The Rager.
Taylor is like honestly one of the best people. I'm so happy.
He's great.
I truly mean this when I say I could not have picked a better person to play my first match against, because I was so nervous. Like, I didn't eat. Like, I was like, I could not function. And like being with him and just Rager just cracking the jokes, just like realize it wasn't right. It did, because it was like, all right, you're going to do a character, I'm going to do a character, and we're just kind of play off each other. And like the trivia part is also like just going to be fun. And I just really like truly nicest person, and I couldn't have had more fun playing him.
Yeah. But the Rager though, that's
the Rager.
Like, we don't like him.
I've also met Taylor because we talked about the Fly, and like it got really weird with like what's going on with Jeff Goldblum's character, but you guys should check that out on Digesting Cinema, just saying. So I've met both Taylor and Rick. Both are stand-up guys, so I can't say anything bad about either one.
I guess the Rager guys are all right.
Taylor told me you reached out to him prior to even the draft. Be like, hey, can I talk about your client and call him out in one of these pre-draft interviews? And he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Yeah, because I'm like, I'm not going to call somebody out and not like hit them up for like, I don't know you, right. You don't know me, like you don't know where I'm coming from. But I had seen some of his like the promos that he'd thrown in there, and I was like, I think we can have fun. I think we can definitely play off each other, and we can have a good time. So this guy seems like somebody I can bounce off with.
And what's the whole Schmodown experience been for you though? Like you said, like you got picked up a little bit later, but you got picked up nonetheless. A lot of folks didn't, and they definitely let their voices be heard on why they got upset. And granted, a lot of them are in the FCL now, but for you, like you got picked up, you're with the Stars, you're with Roxy, a manager who's arguably the best of all time, depending on who you ask. But what's that whole thing been like, even around the Rager match? Like, or even before or after that, how's it been for you, this whole Schmodown experience as a competitor instead of just a fan?
Right. It is weird because you have to think like you're a fan. And then so draft night, you know, like Roxy's in my DMs and like, can I text you? And we did a Zoom call and I'm like, oh my God, I'm talking to Roxy Stryer and she like knows who I am. And you're just like, still like, I'm like, okay, I'm also like a grown ass woman. So like, let's calm it down, you know, like we don't need to like fangirl over everybody. But yeah, like everybody's been so supportive and like getting to know my faction. And it's just, you know, we have our group chat going on and it's just, it's really nice to just have a support system, not only with the Schmodown, but just other things. You know, we cheer each other on when it comes to matches. Clearly, the Stars have not been having the greatest streak right now. I think the last few matches they've played, the opponent has actually gone perfect. So we've had some tough losses, and I mean, we're always there to support each other, pre-match, post-match, things that are going on in life, job promotions, job losses, new jobs. So we're all keeping each other in the loop, and it's just been nice to have just an added support system with everything else going on. But I mean, as far as how the Schmodown has affected me, I mean, I think I had like 80 Twitter followers, and now I have like 200 and something, which I was like, that's cool. People like stuff that I say sometimes. So that's been cool, just to kind of have a little bit more interaction with fans and just other players and stuff. So it's kind of cool to like, I guess, be in the in crowd a little bit more, but it's been an experience. And I've just met like some of the nicest people, like the most positive people have been, you know, hitting me up on Twitter and stuff. And it's just been really an awesome experience.
Chrissy, how's it been going from the fan league, version of the Schmodown to the actual Schmodown? You know, obviously, like you played your first match against Triple R. How has that been, the transition between and the difference between the two leagues?
Well, so I guess, you know, question difficulty is, in my opinion, pretty subjective. You know, there's been questions I've gotten in, and I think sometimes the fan leagues are like, I'm going to write the question that nobody's going to know. So obviously the Schmodown is a little bit more regimented of like a style of what counts as a 1, what counts as a 2. So I think sometimes in the fan leagues, you'll get like these like crazy hard questions because people are kind of just like making it hard. But honestly, the biggest difference for me was the time limit. In the fan league, sometimes you'll get 20 to 30 seconds to give an answer. In the Schmodown, it's 15 seconds, which is a lot when you're trying to gather your thoughts and write something that's legible down on the whiteboard. So that was my biggest hurdle was, all right, not only do I need to make sure I have the knowledge, but I need to make sure I can recall it in 15 seconds instead of 30.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. And then just like the seriousness, like, you know, some of the fan league matches are a little bit more casual. So there's a lot of, you know, talking throughout, and you can't really do that in the Schmodown match. So it's just trying to stay focused and still trying to give an entertaining product without going off the rails.
Well, what was your feeling like when Christian announced your name for the first time?
It was going through your head? It was crazy. Like I've been a fan of this since 2015. I've been to all 3 New York live events. Like I've met Christian like in the meet and greet because I had the VIP ticket. Like he doesn't know who I am. We just have pictures together because I was the fan that paid to do it. So it was just like it was just weird because, and then especially now watching everything digitally to like see my face pop up, it was like, oh shit, like you're not actually watching this anymore. Like that's you, like you're about to play, girl. Like, oh my God, like he just said your name. It's crazy. I love this show. I love having this like bond with my husband over this thing. That's like, just, you know, it was just for us until we met all these other people. I love what it does for the community of people. I don't know if you guys have been to a live event, but if you haven't been,
that's how we met.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If you've never been, like, truly, like, save up the money and go, because it is unlike anything else. You are in because you're there. You're all there for the common goal, and everybody, you're friends because you're all into the same thing. So it's just to find people that are just so welcoming and so nice and just like so willing to be friends with anybody because you like this thing. You will not find anything else like that. So just to being a part of that community was a really big deal. And it was surreal to be like even more a part of it.
Yeah, I can understand that. The question I have for you is, has it helped having someone you're already familiar with as a faction mate? Because you have Jacoby there, so you're already familiar with him.
I mean, I don't really have a hard time getting along with anybody, and I'm pretty talkative, so I kind of just make my presence known. But it is nice to just have Jacoby. Jacoby is so excited to be here. He kind of like takes the lead of just like, all right, let's get a study sesh. What are we doing here? Let's get this together. And, you know, he just kind of does it. And I'm just like, whatever you need, my man, just let me know. I mean, Felix has been awesome. Getting to know him has been amazing. I cannot wait until his schedule can clear up so he can get his match in, because he's just awesome. Yeah. And it was nice though. And I feel like I do like that. It's like getting a new job, and it's like having a friend, just so it's not like super awkward.
And I have to ask because I do want to talk about that match with He Who Shall Not Be Named a little bit more, and then I want to talk about that match with Jacoby. But so you said your husband was the one that got you into this. Like he reeled you in, and you're the one that got in. It's on the stars. You're working with all these folks. You're meeting all these people. Was there any jealousy or any envy coming from him? I mean, of course he's supportive because he's your husband, but.
I mean, I think he'd still want to be a part of it. I mean, this was.
Did he submit a tape too?
He did. I know. I felt bad. He's just the best. he is the best. I'm. You know what? Maybe next year. Maybe FCO. We'll see what happens. I mean, unfortunately, now that life is kind of starting up again, his schedule's a little bit more taxing. So maybe everything happens for a reason. But no, I wouldn't say that he's jealous. I would think though that I knew I felt a little bit bad, and I think part of him was just a little bummed. He wanted to be a part of it too, but it's like, it's still our thing. He's, this is still something we do together.
Oh, word. Okay. Well, I'm glad he can speak for himself in the chat. What's going on, Anthony? Love your name, dude. But that match with He Who Shall Not Be Named, because I'm not going to say his name anymore.
Triple R.
Sure. Yeah. See, I don't want that. I don't want him to pop up.
Oh my God, I would love that.
I would hate that so much.
What, you want to say the Rick Radish?
Yeah.
No, I don't. No, I don't want that. No, stop. I don't want that.
But he's the Rager Rick Radish.
That's great. Good for him. But your match with him, right? Because y'all were awfully early. You were one of the y'all were some of the first rookies to get like that first bite to the Shimoda. They just threw you in to the deep end.
Yeah, we were in March. Yeah, right. We were in March. Yeah.
And for y'all, both of y'all, even we got to talk to him, and of course he's gonna act all hard because that's what he does. But I guarantee it's not easy just to jump into that, and especially he's out there in his own world. But for you, a normal human being that we all respect and love, I wonder how was the approach? Because did you go to the Roxy School of Shimodan studying? Did you get to run through the course with Andreyko and Snyder and Damon, whoever the hell else was in your study sessions? Because that's not too much time. What was that? 2 months, a month before anything happened?
We did have a couple study sessions. Obviously, Anthony has been a big part of this too. But yeah, you're just kind of like, okay, hope you get something, And I mean, I will kick myself for the end of time for the Bill and Ted question because I've watched that movie and it just I just brain farted. It was question number 2, and that's. If I got that question correct, I would have been up a point, which would have changed the whole course of the match regarding because I would have been able to pick who spun first or not. But yeah, I mean, it's just the first round was fun. I mean, he had misses that we all know he knew. I had misses we all know I knew. So the jitters were there. And I feel like a lot of people now are like, oh, you're not going perfect. We're brand new. I don't feel like the game is supposed to be. I don't know. To me, to me to go perfect should be like an honor. It shouldn't be that to me shouldn't be the norm. But I feel like there is an immense pressure now. I feel like the game has leveled up a little bit more. And coming in as a woman, I already know how that gets. And, there's a lot of pressure on me to perform and not, make myself look stupid. Yeah. And Joe Pesci. What's up with that? And I love Joe Pesci. I feel like we're related. I don't know. I get vibes from Joe Pesci, we could be cousins, but I just, it's just one of those things that I think fans don't understand always, the inner workings of it, even down to round 2, where it's you get your wheel, X amount of hours before your match. And I know what I put on it. And then you have an idea of what they put on it. And, you kind of have to play the odds of, all right, what do I definitely know? What's pretty broad that you can't really study? But all right, I can familiarize myself with it. And what's stuff that you're just not really going to get a chance to study, or it's just too much. I spun Robert Redford, and yeah, he's a new category, but the dude's filmography is 80 plus movies. Exactly. Yeah. So it's I could only do so much studying beforehand. So if you're not getting that finite that I've retained, it was all right, I'm going to take my chances because there were so many other things on the wheel that I felt better about. So it's you kind of have to play the odds of, I just didn't get a chance to study you enough compared to the other things I did study and knew really well. So it's that's how you have to play it. And, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The wheel is if you're not an elite player, and I never claimed to be one, the wheel, as we saw from my match, can make or break you.
Yeah.
So
now let me ask you a question, because I last week I had talked about this with the Sabrina match. When you get the wheel, do you talk to your manager? And maybe it may be different between all player competitors and managers, but I just want to get a sense when you get the wheel. Do you guys have scenarios where you say, okay, if you get spinner's choice, this is what we're going to go with. If you get opponent's choice, or obviously not opponent's choice, but if you get, this is what we're going to do with it. Like, do you guys have that strategy talk, or do you guys more or less just say, what do you feel comfortable with, or what exactly goes on?
I mean, we definitely have a strategy before the match, but obviously it all depends on what happens. Did you spin first? Did you spin second? What's your lead? What's your deficit? What did you land on? So like you can strategize as much as you want beforehand, but like obviously in play. But yeah, you try to at least come up with some idea of like, if I land on this, like hell no. If I land on this, hell yes. And then kind of hope that like the middle works itself out. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely there's some strategy to this game, regardless if you plan it out with your manager or not. But there's also a lot of luck to this game. And that's, if you just get something that's not in your wheelhouse, I mean, you just don't know the answer to it. I mean, the question could be easy, but if you don't know the answer to it, you don't know the answer to it.
Yeah, it's subjective. I mean, I know as fans, we sit here and watch, say, I could have answered that because I'm sitting right here. But under the lights, when you got Harloff and Mark Ellis looking at you while you're playing, and Rick Radis's mug looking at you, I'm pretty sure you're like, you're trying to think of the answer, which but it's trying to get the process of getting into your head, to your fingers, to write it down. That's a good insight. But when after that match, how did you feel coming out of that match? Were you like obviously proud of yourself, but like, did you think to yourself, you know what, I have what it takes? Second round just got me. That's pretty much what it is. Or were you more like, I need to get a little bit, hit the books more, or what was your mindset after that match?
I'm a big pessimist when it comes to stuff like that. So I was beating myself up for a pretty long time. And when it premiered, I didn't even watch it because I just didn't want to read comments or feel embarrassed, and just kind of, I just didn't want to, I have an outside life, and I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. And I did watch some of it later, like after it passed, and like I had Peggy do some like recon. I was like, how was the chat? And, did I look as nervous as I knew I was? And
both of y'all did. Like it wasn't like, and y'all handled it way better. Like I told Taylor this. I didn't tell Rachel this because I don't like talking to that dude. But I told Taylor, I'm like, y'all handled it way better than I did. Like that, or I would have. Like that's no. Like, and especially that match has like thousands of views, like thousands of people had watched that match. And especially coming from somebody who was one of those 1,000 watching a Chance Ellison match or watching a Brandon Hanna match. Like now your face is in the thumbnail and you're facing this guy who is still incredibly polarizing as a character in the Schmodown. And like you had a bad wheel spin. I will say, as of right, like I said it down, I'll say it again. Like again, opponent's choice. It's Shook's favorite slice because it throws the whole game off. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. And for you as a rookie, it just happened to bite you in the butt because you had a month or maybe 2 months to get your bearings, to figure out exactly what you're working with, and you get opponent's choice. And Gucci and Radis choose to give you horror movies, and like you work your way through it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, listen, it's a genre I just don't like. I don't enjoy being scared. It's not
join the club, sister.
I don't like to watch it. It was a double whammy because obviously it was his strength, I'm assuming. So now you're in your head of, okay, if I just guess and I'm wrong, chances are he knows the answer and he's going to get the 2 points. So unless I definitely know it, you got to just check down, because if he's going to steal, he better only steal 1 point from you instead of 2 points from you. Right. So all of that's in there too. Of like, if I'm not 100% certain of the answer, I got to check down. And clearly, horror is not my thing. But I do know one comment was like, oh, you seriously have a whole genre that's a weakness? Well, it's like, well, how many men get rom-coms and spin away from it? And I would knock rom-coms out of, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, if it's not prior to watching movies to play trivia, I watched movies because I liked them.
For fun.
Like, if you don't enjoy being scared, or you don't like animated, or you don't like love stories, why are you going to watch them? Exactly. So it was the double whammy of it. It was like literally the two wheel slices I didn't want, I landed on. And I was like, man, if I would land on anything else, I could nail a 5-pointer on the fly. I don't know. I'd be like, can I phone a friend real quick? Yo, not listen to that episode of the podcast, please do, because it is wild. It is. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time.
That's awesome. No, I think, and I'll, a lot of people need to give you credit. And look at, we all know the Facebook comments, the YouTube comments, even Twitter, Reddit, the best place in the world about Schmodown.
Oh yeah,
has some comments, but let's be honest. From gameplay, you look for getting opponent's choice. You did what you had to do. There's nobody can take that away from you. And it's like, again, we've said it 100 times. You're a rookie, so for your first match, that is hard. That is a tough thing to deal with. And I think you played it to the best of your ability, and I think that makes you look. To me, it makes you look like a stronger player because you were able to navigate that. Where some veteran players might have not have navigated that. So I give you a lot of praise and props for that, because that's something a lot of people couldn't have done, or maybe wouldn't have done, and maybe would have got knocked out in that second round, and you were able to fight through it. So I give you a lot of props, Christy. Don't hang your head.
Yeah, for real. And if I'm not mistaken, on this very show, like when that match had aired and we had all watched it, it's like, well, like it felt like, yeah, there was some nerves, and especially like the first question, no one wants to miss their first question.
Right. We were like, oh crap.
But like both y'all reacted the same way, which is kind of pretty funny. But the
I just remember he was so confident, like, it's Bobby D. And I was like, yeah, it is. And he was like, yeah, no, it's not.
And me watching over here, like, it's totally Bobby D. But like, I see you, Aaron, in the chat, Melissa in the chat. What's going on, Melissa? And Anthony in the chat says she would get that right and hate knowing that she knows it. I'm assuming it's about to fly, right? Yeah. We're gonna go check out Digesting Cinema since we're on the topic. I was lucky enough to be on one of the Star Wars episodes.
It was you were fantastic. On the spin-off series, Digesting the Force.
You already know. And the second, if anyone ever mentions Scooby-Doo to you, I'm your man. You already know where the party's at. Either one, you pick your poison. Okay. But let's talk about your faction mate for a minute. Like Jacoby, you're no stranger to Jacoby Bancroft, and my man, him and Jacob London had a clinic not too long ago. God. Like the both of them did. They both absolutely put up a rookies clinic, and really showed everybody how. Like, oh, you're a rookie? Oh, okay, word. Well, this is how we play, and it was fantastic. Both of them played great, but now he got a second match, and he played Griffey Newms, the man formerly known as Griffin Newman. And again, like he has another really good match.
I know.
It's just his competition in Griffin Newman, another exchange head, bites you stars in the butt.
I know. Who thought this dossier was actually like, something, but I can't say enough good things about Jacoby and his work ethic. And I know there's different like tiers of players when it comes to things, and I personally hold Jacoby at a higher tier than I would hold myself. So when you're putting these matches, he wasn't going to play somebody of my caliber first up, and it was like he was even like, oh my god, I have to play Jacob London. Like one of us is going to be 0-1. Like the fact that Jacob London is 0-1 in this league right now is like, what? You know what I mean? So he knew that he was going to get some stiffer competition. And then to have him go perfect on his first match was like, you know what I mean? Like, I know what Jacoby's capable of. I've seen him play before. He was player of the year in the fan leagues for a reason. His knowledge is just his knowledge and work ethic are just something to be admired. But yeah, he just knocked it out of the park that first match. And like his promos, literally, like I could pee myself laughing, where he's like talking to the fans and like, what are you doing? I texted him. I was like, "Am I making a cameo in your most recent promo? Like, you keep bringing me up. Am I in this? Did I not know that I was like, was I supposed to record something to be in this?" And then I realized he just had the notes I had for him.
Word. So okay, so he just took your word. So in a way, you're a credited writer in his promo.
Yeah, I just write all of the scripts. Yeah. Switch.
Yo,
There you go.
but that match with Griffin, right? And Griffin's is no slouch either, and we saw that from his first time, his first match. It's like this man's a killer, like and like he knows exactly what he's doing. So when we all found out that Newms was playing Bancroft, we're like, oh god, like this would be another slugfest. It's just that animated movies apparently aren't the best for Jacoby. Like he's good, definitely good at it.
I was the only one.
Right.
You knew the other ones.
But like Griffin, you're playing a guy like him, you have to, and I hate to say this about rookies because of course anything can happen. Such a small sample size, but Griffin, especially after that free for all performance he had, obviously didn't win the thing, but he was still pretty darn good in it.
Yeah. And
Leo Logan in the chat, the Exchange Dossier versus the Family Four. We'll see what happens on Friday. Yes, we will. Again, the Family Four will face off against the Dossier. Yo. Amaru in the chat. What's going on, dude?
Oh, really?
Yo, hell yeah, Amaru. We'll talk about your match later, dude. Talk about another barn burner. That's what that's Friday, but we'll get there when we get there. But Jacoby and Griffin, it's two great performances that just Griffin edged him just by this much.
Right.
And the familiarity of disaster movies is what benefited Griffey in the end. Like that came up multiple times in the match, obviously in the second round and in the third round. But like Jacoby ain't nothing to play with. Even in that match with the blackjack match. Jacoby is no slouch. That man's
no. Definitely he's no slouch. And look, he's gonna get more matches. And we were talking about last week, and Chrissy has brought it up about the Stars. I wanted to say rock stars. The Stars being in a little bit of a trouble. You're probably assuming that Jacoby's going to be in the singles tournament with Jeff Snyder and possibly Christy. Sorry, I said Chrissy because my ex-wife said Christina.
Close that tab, Shook. Close the damn tab.
I closed it. But there's a possibility for the Stars to get back into a better spot in the standings. Jacoby could go on a run, could make the semis, could make the finals, could even win the whole singles tournament. So it's definitely a possibility. And he's nobody to play with. He's for real. And obviously Griffin Newman. Look, I said it when I first, I think I did a video on it. I didn't know who he was. Not until after I did the video, I looked him up and realized, okay, he does a bunch of these podcasts. Oh, okay, he was in some movies. And when you hear someone Coach joins the Schmodown, you're in there in some movies. Other than Brendan Meyer, you're like, okay, maybe they're just here to have some fun. And he's been killing it. Look, his free-for-all performance was amazing. His first match was amazing. And he played a game, he played a game Jacoby. And look, Jacoby is, like I said, there's no joke.
He plays perfectly. You can't beat somebody who plays perfectly. So as soon as you get that slip up.
Exactly. And that's what the Schmodown is.
Yeah,
and that's what the Schmodown is, and so I expect a lot. I expect a lot from Jacoby in the future, and he's going to get another match, and he's going to get into that singles tournament, and he's going to be able to do some damage for the Stars. So I'm super excited to see what else he does.
Speaking of singles tournament, I mean, I would assume our secret weapon, Janine the Machine, is going to tear that up.
Yeah, you get four.
She's been playing. Janine is a player who I felt has just had an up and down career. I think this year being a manager who knows what she's doing and knows how to get the best out of talent, because I think we've seen that in the last few years. Roxy knows how to get people to play at their best. That's why she's had back to where we expected her to be last year when she was playing with Sam.
I mean, watching Janine play, it brings tears to your eyes to see her finally reach that potential that we all knew was there, and she just couldn't quite harness it. And I've tweeted it out. I was a fan of hers. I saw her in Brooklyn. I've cheered for her in front of her face, and I've cheered for her from my couch. And to be on her team, and to help study with her, to help build her up before her matches, to console her even after a match. It is a true honor to be around her because she's phenomenal. And I'm so happy that people are finally realizing how wonderful she is.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but agree with Peggy more in the chat. She ain't no secret. The Stars ain't hiding her anymore.
Listen, if people want to keep forgetting about Janine, we can Well, we can forget about it for a little bit, and we'll just bring her out later.
We haven't forgotten about Janine.
No,
on screen.
I'm assuming for the singles tournament, it's gonna be Janine, Snyder, Jacoby, and then I'm assuming either you or Nick Harley or
Felix.
Felix, who we haven't seen. So there's a lot of choices for that fourth spot. So I'm super excited. And like I said,
right?
No, it is four. It is four.
There is.
Oh no! Actually, no. Singles. Christian said the other day.
That was the question mark.
That was the question.
Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah, we didn't know.
That was the one we didn't know. We'll get to the announcement.
You know it is.
I hope so. I hope you're right, Shug. But like the stars are definitely the biggest question mark. Fool's Gill, Janine's hard work and experience with the right man, she's finally paying off. This is the best Janine's played in her whole career
since Jay. She said, "Oh, Jay, we can't discredit."
But she played. If Janine with Jay Washington, the Urban Gladiators, their manager, against Janine now is winning that match.
Yeah, but what I mean is Janine still like that. Her play with Jay is why people had such high expectations for her last year.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I just think playing with a manager who gets her is ultimately helping her, because I'm just gonna be honest. Sam didn't get her. Roxy clearly gets her. Jay got her, and that's why even though she's lost, she's having these close matches that are coming down to the wire, and it's just entertaining and it's good to see. It makes for good matches.
It's like what Christy's saying. Like you got to go. Like if you are facing someone that goes perfect, that's exactly what happened to Janine and Marisol. Yeah, Marisol went perfect, and Janine was one question off.
Yep, there's nothing you can do about that.
And like you can't. I know like y'all can like folks can hang their heads on missing the 5 and that costing them the match, but like Marisol, like her game from when we met her last season to now has somehow gotten better and better as every match she plays. And Janine, like, she's a vet in this league. She's been around for a minute. But, after the tag match with Jacoby, after the match with Marisol, like, we need to keep in mind, like, Janine the Machine, I don't think it's hit and miss anymore. I know she's one of those examples where her record does not reflect her gameplay. And with what we've seen out of her this year, we got to stop sleeping on Janine the Machine. We just got to, as a group. Now I'm just saying just us who's on screen, but as a community, everybody in the subreddit, everybody in the Facebook page, everybody who uses the damn hashtags on Twitter, everybody needs to stop sleeping on her. And when that singles tournament does come around, or even the teams, she did great with Jeff.
I know.
The otter couple, right? Like she killed it. She's the reason they were so in it in that match. Mm-hmm. Like, so when tournament season comes around, we got to stop sleeping as a group. And Thomas, I see your comment again. I get your joke. I get it. Yes, I totes get the joke. Thomas, what's going on, brother? Hope you're doing well. But Christy, when's your next match? We keep talking about next match. What about you?
I don't know yet.
She knows. Look, you can tell us. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching right now.
I will tell you that I do not have an official match date, but I will tell you that the rumor has it that the 0-1s, it's our turn again coming up. So maybe later this summer, before the tournament, we'll start getting some of the 0-1s out of the way. But I do not have an official anything yet. But it could be coming soon. Maybe a little bit later in the summertime.
Let me throw a suggestion out. I know folks don't like when the ladies play each other, because like, why are we having the ladies play each other? But something I would love to see, because they're both friends of the show. Christy, I love to see you play Paige.
What am I?
Don't do it.
I don't know anything.
I mean, don't do it. I don't know anything either. If anything, the piece on the right side of the screen knows some. If we're gonna spell quiet right, come on. If we're gonna tell someone to be quiet, at least spell it correctly. While real entertainment.
I know, God, Matt.
That's on you. That's on you.
But I would love to see, Christy. I'd love to see you play Paige. I really would. These are folks that the both of y'all, like, y'all just came up short against who you play. Christy, be sure not to haze my man Nick Harley. Too bad. Nick Harley.
High school together. Did you guys know that?
Yes. Cleveland rocks. Cleveland rocks.
Just in case viewers of Spin for Real, just in case you didn't know, Matt was from Cleveland. But I would love to see you play Paige. I really would.
Just in case.
Like,
See, I don't know. That's like there's like too much Boston and Jersey with all of that. Like the attitudes would just
the
be
shit talk would be crazy.
No, that wasn't true. Don't even put that in
It'd
the
be
chat.
crazy.
No, but
I can see if I can put that request in. I don't know how much pull I have, but I can shoot a
I just
text.
start spamming Christian or Grace or whoever the hell's making matches.
it doesn't like that doesn't work, Chris. Don't spam because we get in trouble. But
Yes.
to be honest with you, I would actually like to see her play Brother Lomas.
Yes, I think that is
another exchanger.
Yes,
Guys, I already had enough of Tom without a shirt on. I don't really need to see that twice.
Jesus, like when you're gonna start torturing her now? I'm like, she didn't sign up for this.
The Brother Loomis thing kind of creeps me out. I'd really rather not. It's just a little weird for me. That's just like I just like you get the Catholic guilt comes running through. So I don't know.
The Catholic guilt. That's
like I haven't been to mass in a really long time. Like I don't need Brother Loomis yelling at me.
You don't.
Oh, that's what Amaru's talking
about
about. He doesn't want another Page versus Family 4 member. I get it now. I get it. Now I really want Amaru just because.
Yeah, I was like, don't do it. I was like, I don't know any information.
Yeah, my man's gonna be torn. My man's heart's gonna be broken. But no, damn, who else is own one? Who else could we? Who else could we feed to
Mark
Christy?
Riley. Mark Riley's own one.
I think we're talking about rookies in her case.
Yeah, let's talk about some rooks first. Yeah,
but I don't. Let's see.
Just sign me up against a former champion.
But no, but here's the problem with that though. You can't just throw a rookie against a rookie again. You have to, if you want to be in the league and get to a path to a title shot, you have to beat other players.
But you also
I understand that
player rankings too, though.
Okay, Mark Riley's really low ranked.
He's still top 15 right now.
Riley Tingle, I like that suggestion.
There's no way he's top 15.
I'll check right now, but
I like
there's no way.
The Cube and Christy, I like that. I like that match.
Oh, the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah,
that's intimidating to me. I don't understand the Rubik's Cube.
Christy, you're trying to get you a match here. You can't be shooting down everybody for. Okay, who else?
I'm not shooting anybody down. I'm just letting you. I mean, I'll play anybody, but I'm just.
All right, give her Lomas then. Like, let the Catholic guilt.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
Mark Yodi Riley is the number 8th ranked competitor.
Yeah, that is.
He's the 8th.
That is incorrect. This ranking system. Yes, this ranking system is bogus. There's no way you have Mark Riley.
You know what? On second thought,
I'm sorry. I'm a den chill. Mark Riley is not an 8th.
Your overall record plays into it. The fact of the matter is he's 13-9. That's the only reason why.
There's no way you put
Mom, Dad, we can do this later when Christy's not here.
Look, I agree with you is my point, but I'm saying the reason he's up so high is because he's 13-9. That's all.
They're day? I'm kidding. Is it? Am I kidding though? What faction is he on? The Den?
He's on the Den. Rachel Silvestrini.
Silvestrini.
But the thing is, we don't want the women versus women. Yeah, I don't want the women versus women. I don't. I know. I want to see Christy play. I want to see Rachel Silvestrini play, but I don't want the women versus women because it gives another lady of the Schmodown lost. And if let's say Christy loses. She's 0-2. She just doesn't get a match for the rest of the year. It's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair to her. If she loses, she loses. Fine, whatever. But now you're putting women against each other, and then they don't get to play again because they lost. Like, no, I want to see something else. So
and it's more fun to be mean to the boys.
There you go. That too.
Right.
You can hang with them. You seem you could talk crap. I was going to say.
I can hang. I can hang with the boys.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously you're a middle school teacher. You know all the slang.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, she'll do some, some of the TikTok things. She does.
Bro, you could probably shoot your son on the computer right now, and he can talk to her, and she'd know everything that he was saying, and you wouldn't.
Yeah, does it talk about how his food is bussin'? Because that was like a yeah. I literally like one
my
of my
son's going to sixth. My son's going to 6th grade next year.
Oh yeah,
so
like
that's how he does.
my class was like, my lunch today was bussin', and I was literally like, what? So then, me being like the old person I am, I was like,
as they walk around in the background.
Are you saying bust? I was like, are you saying bust? Like is it bustin'? Like with a T? And then they were like, no, it's bussin'. And I was like, oh, so like, do you guys say things are like busted? Like, you know, if somebody's ugly, like you say that their face is busted. And they were like, no.
Chris muted his mic right now. He can't stop.
Right.
I remember
Sorry.
that slang talk. I remember saying your base is busted. Like
Me too.
Now it's like, yeah.
They thought I was an idiot. They were like, no, why would we ever say that? It's bussin', and we're talking about food.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's because I'm not allowed to curse, Peggy. So
I
did use the word simp in my class one time, and that was the most embarrassing moment of my whole life. It was so embarrassing, and they would never let me live it down. It would be like months later, be like, yo, they would just raise their hand, like, anybody have a question? And be like, remember that time you used simp wrong? And I'm like, dude, I'm just getting
How did you use it?
You can't use that word on Twitch. You can't use that word on Twitch.
I thought that simp meant that
we're
like
on Twitch right now.
Oh shit.
Go ahead, Christy.
Oh, I thought that word meant that like you're simple or like you're not so like
No.
you're not a good so like you're not a good like gamer. So like you're simple, so you can't play like high level games or whatever. So one kid was complaining that his aunt got him like his aunt got him like a Xbox instead of like a PS5 or something. And I was like, yeah, she sounds like a simp. And he was like, what? What that means? And I was like, oh my God, did I just say a bad word in front of my whole class? Like, and then finally, like one of the girls was nice to me and was like, it's not a bad word, but it's just not what that means. And then she explained it to me and I was like, oh no, that's so embarrassing. I thought it was
it's arguably worse.
I thought it was like I thought it meant simple and that it's just like you're just not a good video gamer.
That's you know what?
No, legitimately on Twitch, you're not actually allowed to say that word. It will get your channel banned.
Oh well, I didn't realize. Well, I just said it 45 times, so sorry.
Yeah, again, they probably don't watch us, so we're fine. And then tomorrow we get back. Spin from the Reel is gone, you guys. Just let you know.
Just the show, not the channel. The show is gone.
Yeah, sorry. It's my fault. Well, at least it was worth a good laugh.
It was worth it.
Chris says that word all the time on so many other streams, and we're still on.
When do I use that?
You
not on this show.
Not on this show. I said on other streams. Just like
other streams,
like hangout streams or.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but like Real Talk, you've used it before, so I'm just saying we're still here. We're still here, and it's been used while we're on Twitch.
Yep. Yeah, Fools Go. You're correct. Every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
Yeah. Oh no, we're changing the channel to instead of WAP, it's WAP.
No,
stop
it.
No.
Stop.
No.
Can we talk to Christy again? I prefer us to do that.
Fine.
What else do you want to know about my life and how I embarrass myself? I get TKO'd in the Schmodown and I don't know slang for middle schoolers.
Wait, you didn't get TKO'd. You didn't get TKO'd, did you?
Yes, you did.
I did.
That was the first.
Why do we need to remind her?
Freaking Tom Hanks and The Circle. Hell.
That damn circle movie that nobody saw.
It is. I saw it. Unfortunately, it's a bad movie. It is a bad movie.
See, and oh my God. So, Christy, before we let you go, I want to. Damn it! That y'all threw off my whole groove talking about some SIMPs and how people's answer SIMPs. And that was good.
You mean like how you are?
Matt, don't even start. Don't even start. I will cook you right here in front of everybody. So the Schmodown, right? It's been like, and I hope you've received a warm welcome ever since that match, because I know people can be relentless sometimes. People can be ruthless, and that's not the whole space. Hopefully, hopefully I can represent, because Lord knows these two other SIMPs aren't too. They're not going to represent the space as much as other people will. But so has the preparation changed at all since, like, yeah, you don't know what your next match is or when it is, but ASG in the chat, at least she guessed an answer. Right. Like a lot of folks, they like the nerves get to them and they can't even perform correctly, but you play like you've been watching this thing. And obviously you have been, you're a fan, but not too many folks can translate that from your couch to your screen. Jesus Christ, Taylor. So what's how have you been within the Stars to either improve your game and to improve your faction mates? Because when we did Digesting the Force, I got to meet Felix for the first time. But my man's jonesing for a match. He's jonesing, and not too many folks can it's been a hot topic of conversation that folks can't get matches, or we see the same folks all the time.
Right.
But how has it been since the loss to the Rager for you? It's been a minute. So how has your obviously your approach is different because you've been around it for a little bit longer. But
yeah, I mean, I understand where I am also in the rankings of the Schmodown. I'm a rookie that didn't really play that well. I mean, and that's factual. That's not
better than other folks.
Right, but it's not, I mean, I'm not feeling bad about myself, but that's the fact. So like if I'm somebody that's trying to build a show and I'm running a show, you want people to watch what you're doing. So you want to have people that are giving you the best shows possible. And in my personal opinion, it's either excellent character work or really close matches. And so that's what I would focus on. But as far as me, like my preparation is just trying to watch as many movies as possible, maybe movies that are not necessarily things that I would normally watch, try and go a little bit out of my wheelhouse and just try to be as well-rounded as possible and, just study up. But I mean, I'm not going to sit here and harass anybody for matches. I'm so happy to just build up my faction mates that are getting them. And, I'm just here to be part of the team. I'm here to be a part of the study sessions, learn as much as possible, improve as much as possible. And when it's my turn to get called up again, hopefully I can perform better and, bring home a win. And that's, it's all about the Stars and making sure that we as a team are ready to go. I mean, I think what other people don't count in all of this is, I have a personal life. Like I've had things and my own struggles that I have to deal with. My whole life isn't, studying for the Schmodown. And I think a lot of people get that confused. They're like, well, this is a sport and we can criticize these guys. And it's when you criticize a professional football player and a professional basketball player, and I'm a Philadelphia fan and Lord knows what the hell happened last night. So, words are out of my mouth, right? And I'm the nastiest of them all. The profanities that have expelled my mouth watching Eagles games and Sixers games, Lord knows I've said it. However, these people, this is what they do 24/7, and they're getting paid a lot of money to do so. And I'm not like tagging them on Twitter. I'm not coming at them I say it in the comfort of my home. So I think like some people need to also understand that like, sorry, honey, I didn't mean to upset you. Don't bring that up. I'm still upset.
Hey, no. Sixer
okay,
fans, I can't talk to this is an exception. I can't talk to Sixers fans right now because they want my boy Colin Sexton. I don't want Ben Simmons included.
Oh, he'd be a good fit for them.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, Christy?
Yeah, Ben Simmons is trash. But I feel like, especially when it comes to women, it's a lot of times of like, they make a comment about our appearance and then like, they're not a good player. You would never do it the other way around of like, well, she's not very good looking, but at least she's good at trivia. So it's like this weird thing where it's like, we all are putting effort in. I don't think anybody doesn't want to be here, but like understand that like there's other things that are going on and we are all trying our best. And it's just, some people just have crappy games. And yeah, you can say that I didn't play well. That is a fact. That's not hurting my feelings, but to like say that I'm a trash player or to say that like I don't belong in the league because I had a bad game, like to me, that's maybe taking things a little bit too far, especially because we're in such a closed setting of like the Facebook group or like tagging somebody on Twitter and saying it. Like you can feel that way, but like you don't actually have to like say it to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
No. I totally understand. I feel like you're talking to me right now because I did say some things over Twitter this weekend, and but it wasn't to that extent.
Oh, I said things on Twitter this weekend too.
Yeah.
So
okay.
It wasn't to that.
Well, but no, it had nothing to do with that. But look, I totally agree with you, Christy. And look at those, like I said earlier, the Facebook, the Reddit comments, sometimes those go a little too far. To me, I'm talking to Rachel Cushing. I got the opportunity to talk to her, and she said, look, if you can't say it to a competitor's face, don't say it at all. And I absolutely agree. Do I have other feelings about other things we're probably going to talk about later? Sure, we're going to talk about them. But like when I said right now, when you said that you got TKO'd, I didn't even remember you got TKO'd. I remember you had an entertaining match, and I liked the way you played. I didn't remember you got TKO'd. So to me, that means more the fact that you actually entertained me and you actually cared and played your best you could in your match. That's what I care to see as a fan. You show up and you play. I don't care what, and I understand. Look, everybody, we do this. We don't get paid to do this, to sit here and talk about the Schmodown. I got 2 kids. I work and I go to school. Everybody has lives. So yes, we have to all take into account that people have lives outside the Schmodown, and that's how it is. At the same time though, it's not right to be rude to people. Obviously, like you said, bringing up people's appearances. That's not what the Schmodown's about. And people shouldn't be bringing that stuff up because it has nothing to do with gameplay. That has nothing to do with the match. If it has to do with the match, that's a different. If you bring something, you're talking about something about the match, that's a different story. But if you're bringing up someone's appearance, or you're telling them, you're not committed to the game, those are things that are rude. Granted, comments I made is because a competitor made comments and I responded to that. So that's what we'll talk about later. But to me, you're absolutely 100% right that if it isn't about the game and if it isn't about the match, then you shouldn't make comments about somebody, outside of that. And I totally 100% agree with you there.
And we love this, right? Like you guys did this because you love this. I put in an audition tape because I love this. So I love watching it. I love playing along. I love being a part of it. And I want to see this be as big and as beautiful as it can get. And I don't want competitors that are in it, especially the women, to feel like they can't do it anymore because they can't handle the fan base. And I just want people to feel like they belong. And, we also just have to understand that not everybody is this like perfect elite player, and that's okay too. And some people are not going to have good matches. And sometimes there's going to be people that are never going to be in a title shot, but like, there's fun to watch. Was Josh Makuga ever going to really win a title? No, but did you watch every match he was in and watch every Wildberries match because it was hilarious and it was a good time? Absolutely.
Andrew Guy.
That's also what it's right. You loved him. So that's like, we still have to remember that that's part of the game too. And it's like, I know there's so many players that are so great and we're seeing these perfect games and these perfect first rounds and people pulling this knowledge and it's incredible. But you also have to remember that's a part of this that's just because people love movies and they love answering questions about movies. And it doesn't need to be like a bloodbath every match. And it just needs to be because we all love this thing and we should all just enjoy it.
Yeah, and that's why Christy needs a second match, for the love of God. Come on, y'all. I don't know who books this stuff, but give my girl a call, damn it.
I know, but I'm not really this nice in my match, so we'll see.
Good. You'll be bringing more personality than some other folks have. But, Christy, thank you so much for coming on Spin from the Reel. Finally.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited. You guys are the best. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
You're too kind. Well, do all your little plug skis. Where can the people find you outside of being a star? Where can the folks find you?
Oh, you guys can check me out on Digesting Cinema, which is wherever you guys can get your podcasts. We recently did a Saturn Best Horror Award winner with Taylor Cleek, who is Triple R's manager, talking about The Fly, which is a hilarious episode. We are also doing a spin-off series where I am watching the Star Wars saga for the very first time and talking about each of them as a first-time watch. And my boy Chris was just on, and we had an incredible conversation about The Force Awakens, and we basically just like fangirled and fanboyed all over that movie. So wherever you guys get your podcast, check out Digesting Cinema and Digesting the Force. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. It was so awesome to be here. And if anybody else wants to be on DTF or DC, my DMs are open.
My schedule, you're like, it was so short notice. I had work that Sunday, and you're like,
I know. Hey.
I was like,
yo, Chris just like committed the robbery. It was like, yo, Matt's busy, but I'm free.
Yo, like, I'll do it. No, I felt bad.
No, he straight up said, he's like, if you can't do this, I'll do it. I said, please do it, because it's just, I'd rather, it doesn't sound like we're just trying to skip out.
And it turned out the podcast was busting 100%. but thank you, Christy, for coming on the show. And the second you get your match, girl, we're gonna get you back on. All right.
All right, perfect. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you. We'll chat.
Look, I gotta clear something up, okay? Oh. I said WAP Entertainment, ass Puerto Rican. Y'all know what the hell y'all were thinking.
That's somehow just as bad. Like,
really?
Get some help.
Look, we need to.
Why were you doing the soundboard again? We said we're not using those anymore.
We said that. Thank God.
We didn't say that. I'm just using it more liberally.
Oh,
Well, the way you use it is horrible.
As if you weren't before.
Yeah,
you were definitely going
I've
nuts.
only used 2 today. 2 in the
I haven't used any.
hour.
Thank God.
But mine are also like 5 seconds long compared.
This is already my favorite spin from the reel in
Taylor.
in like
it's because you're here. Taylor.
No, stop it. No, like so. Look,
what?
And I know, right? And we can, if we want, we can stay on the single strain and talk about Ellison and Harris before we talk Inner Geekdom and the slaughter that we had witnessed.
Let's finish with Inner Geekdom today.
Yeah. Because I think that's going to be a long topic. But go ahead.
Right. And see, like I was lucky enough to get my merch not too long ago, and finally I can display it on the show. Because I've been over here telling y'all
for the first time you actually pick corruption.
The first time you shook, and the first time you shut the hell up, like that'd be fantastic.
First time you pick corruption.
Now, see, Shug, now that we got that out of the way, I would love to talk about this match, right? Because Shug, Lord knows, we've addressed this enough. Stop rehashing old wounds. I don't know why I got to do that. Like, why must you do that? You hate wounds? You hating right now? I'm not
the one that picked didn't pick corruption in matches.
What? I picked corruption. Taylor, what the heck? I thought you bought a better shot. Nope, this is it right here. I finally got my season 7 champ shirt. This is Spin from the Reel's first season in a nutshell. So I think I made the correct choice. But Shug, don't act like I haven't been rocking with corruption. Don't act like that. Don't start lying.
You haven't.
Stop lying.
Who did you pick between Danger Zone and corruption?
I picked Danger Zone.
Who did you pick between Mike Kalinowski and Mark Kanopik?
I picked Mark Kanopik.
Okay.
You know why? You know why I made those choices?
Stop talking.
I had more than enough reason to pick them. You're acting like I shat all over them. And
I don't care if Ben Goddard was playing Dan Murrell. I'm still picking Ben Goddard because he's part of the Den.
Oh, and that's great. Good on you.
You call yourself a shill. You're not. You know what you are? You're a flapjack.
I'm so proud of you.
Flapjack. That's what I'm gonna call you from now on.
Flapjack. What are you talking about? If I had to pick, like right now the Cubs are losing to the Cleveland Indians. If I had to, man, shut up! You're out here saying you're a Cubs fan too. You shut up.
But I know it's pissing you off.
Look, so if right now, if you're to tell me that the Los Angeles Dodgers are facing against the Chicago Cubs, and I had to pick one for my life, because apparently we're playing this damn game, we're picking predictions every single damn. Stop! Don't change my name. Don't change my damn name. Leave me alone. Stop it. So if I had to pick for my life, or this little fun game that we're playing, that I had to do this little prediction, I'm gonna pick the side that actually I think is gonna win for that day. Ben Goddard picked up pick my pick for free for all. Is it free for all? For FFF. So I will forever root against him. Yo, Ben Goddard, that guy. I have no.
I fixed your name, and you go and change it. Stop
go and change it. Like you just call me Flapjack. Freaking you, wet ass Puerto Rican. Get out of here.
That's your new name, Flapjack. Okay.
leave me alone. If I chose because we're playing this damn game, of course, I love corruption. Fantasy film fights. Thank you. Oh wow, multiple people said it. Thank you. But Peggy's show. Yeah, we have talked about that before. But if I had to pick one, which we do for this fun game that we do, I rock with Who's on the Wave. Mara had just won the damn belt. She set the Inner Geekdom points record. Danger Zone just ran through the tournament for teams.
Hey, I'm gonna take it back to the 90s. Talk to the hand.
Take it back to the 90s.
Talk to the hand, okay?
Did you not just listen to the last hour of the show? This show's busting. That's what we're on. We're in 2021. We ain't no damn 90s.
Talk about Chance. Because I picked Lon Harris in this match. I thought Lon Harris would show up, and he
showed up.
Yeah, he showed up. I think there was some in round one. There was some questions that he missed that were, yeah. I think he could have gotten. Look, Lon Harris, to me, is. We talked about him last year, and someone said this, and I didn't want to disrespect Lon Harris like that. But when has Lon Harris actually been an elite player?
The first half of last year.
No, not character, an elite player.
The first half of last year, he was an elite.
The first half of last year, what happened? What did he do?
Elite? I think we were throwing the word elite around too loosely.
Well, my point is, he was having high scoring games. He was winning.
And high scoring games on what? He played teams mostly.
And now
in his singles match, which I believe
Adam Collins knocked his ass out.
Adam Collins knocked him out.
But Lion killed it in that first round.
And you said first half of last year, geez, you said first round?
No, I'm saying that first round. So Lon lost that second round.
First round.
I forget. It's that Sabina.
Oh my God!
But he KO'd her. That's why I said this.
Who do KOs say more about? The competitor that got the KO or the one that got KO'd? And I know we'll get to that a little bit later, but I think it speaks more to who playing and who took the loss.
Lon, when the team was formed, he was getting perfect round. Like I didn't say the whole year. I sectioned it off to that first part of the year because team matches, he was getting perfect rounds getting 9 of the 10 questions right.
How many?
Hold on. Well, this is where I'm going with this. How many times has Lon Harris played and we go, man, if only he would have done this. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm not trying to come at Lon Harris, but it seems like every time it's just every match, it's always, damn, I wish Lon would have done this. Or if Lon could have done this. Now that doesn't take away how great Chance is. Chance is great.
Mm-hmm.
Man's a 3-division champion in the Schmodown. He can be a champion of IG singles and teams
easily. But
Lon Harris, man, maybe we need to step our expectations back on him and just expect him to be he's got some knowledge, but whatever reason, he just can't get over the hump. We said the same about Janine, and now everybody look at Janine. Janine is killing it. Maybe he needs a change. Maybe he needs to go to Kate Mulligan. Maybe he needs to go to Finstock. Maybe he needs to go to Sam Levine or Coy Xandru. Maybe he needs to go to what if he goes to corruption? What if he goes to corruption and Shannon Barney changes him? Maybe that would be better.
There was a reason
because there's something missing.
There was a reason why at free agency last year, everybody was like, oh, for swag, of course they'll keep Oyama. Nobody was like, oh, of course they'll keep Lon. Lon was the weak link of the two. And if it was that easy, if Lon was elite, why would he be left out of the conversations for top 3 then for swag? Matt, we've had that conversation multiple times where it's like, yo, at least around the December, January mark, it's like, oh, if you're swag, what do you do? Of course you keep Chandru, who was the champ at the time. Bang, Chandru. And then you keep Final Exam together. Everybody was like, oh no, Paul needs a better partner. Paul needs a better part. Paul needs a different partner. And it's like, yo, they kept Final Exam together. All power to them, to the shock of at least the 2 of us on this show around that time. And then here we are.
But you learn when you hear stuff from behind the scenes.
Oh, we can't. Man.
I'm just gonna say, Final Exam had Winston decided not to keep another player. Final Exam wouldn't have been together.
Yo, I'm saying, like the BTS stuff, you can say that all you want, but look at what's going down. Obviously, you're gonna choose. In Fool's Guild in the chat, Lon is a medium to high level player. He makes the same mistakes when he's in a match. He's not playing at number 2 level. He should be for swag. He's not.
Yeah, he's not.
And
yes, like, Janine is amazing. But when for the last couple of years, we've said, man, if she could just get over the hump. Now she's with Roxy, and she's right there. She's one question away.
She's the Janine that we've been wanting and expecting.
Yeah, the people we're talking about. The people we're talking about. What Matt said when she played with Winston had the potential she had, and now she's there. So now she's one question away from boom, getting over that hump and being amazing. You know, she was 1 5-pointer away from believe taking Marisol to sudden death beating Marisol. Yeah, sudden death. She's taking to Marisol to get a number 1 contender spot. So she's there. Now it's just executing. She's in the point there. Is staying there and executing. Lon Harris, we say that he's elite, but yet when has he executed to say he's elite?
If we're gonna
he's had some good teams matches, and yes, he played Sabina in the singles tournament last year.
I remember back in studio, he went far in the singles tournament, and then he went to the semifinals, semifinals or finals of a teams tournament, being the number 1 player. Keep that in mind too. You can't just discount this is a little bit of recency bias, because look at his whole career. He's been. I'm just saying you can't say he wasn't the number 1 player when it was him and JT, right, or even the Harris brothers.
Ooh, wait a minute. You said JTE? Like that's wait a minute.
They had one match together or something.
But
my point is, when he had to play teams and he was the number 1 player, he was winning. They made it to the tournament final.
And you know, I'm already that guy on the show, so I'll be that guy again. The Schmodown has changed. There's a clear divide in the Schmodown. That was the beginning of season 7. There was a clear divide in gameplay and of competition. Last year, we saw some of the best matches ever in this digital format. Say what you want about the digital format. The matches happened, right? And here we are. Lon's best singles win against Paul Preston. It's one hell of a win against Paul Preston. But now in season 8, you can say it's recency bias. Geez, we're all about, every time we talk about someone who's succeeding this year, you can say it's recency bias, especially compared to the grand scheme of things. But when Riley had played Bateman, and we had the conversation on this show, and y'all kept telling me about Riley, former champ, I go back to the Schmodown's different now. The Schmodown's not what it used to be. It's evolved over time. And look at the level of competition. We got folks going perfect every week, multiple times a week. I agree with Christy. I'm going to be the biggest fan of that. Someone in the chat right now pointed it out and got scrutinized for it. But it's you have to play to perfection nowadays. And that's not what the Schmodown used to be. In the Schmodown, you can be in a title match and miss a question in the first round and be like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm fine. Now, every time we see someone in a championship match miss a first round question, we're like, ooh, man, done. Game. We call the game in the first round out of 5. So you can't be telling me that the OG Schmodown stuff,
we haven't been doing that in singles. In Star Wars, yes. But in singles, we didn't say that with the Adam Collins match. We didn't say that we didn't say that.
Matt, a thing on this show is us saying, oh, you missed first, you're done.
And we always specify it's for Star Wars or IG. In a singles or teams, we say that's not the case. We have said that numerous times.
And I don't know what shows you've been listening to, what shows you've been on, but that's when we watch the matches together, regardless of division. And again, this is Lon, and I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm shitting on Lon. That's not the case. I like Lon a lot. I think his character work is phenomenal. Some of the best stuff in the Schmodown ever. A lot of peeps can't even do what Lon's doing, whether it's the professor or the delinquent. Folks can't do that and still keep it up in a match. We saw, I love Andrew Guy, but we saw what happened to him when he did that in a match last year. Not everyone can do that. But Lon, we saw him get knocked out by Adam Collins last year. And then in this, and I'm not going to say his team stuff because him and Paul are obviously a really good team. The best team of last year, as far as I'm concerned. But now, in his single stuff, he beats a guy like Paul Preston, and facing someone like Chance Elson, who's no slouch either in singles, whether you're multi-division or not. But we can't keep reverting to, oh, remember in season 5 or season 6? We can't keep having that conversation because the Schmodown has changed and evolved so much. Now it's gotten to the point where people like Christie and Radis, if they miss their first question in their first game, everybody's like, oh, no, they're not good. Oh, no, they're not good. Because we're so spoiled in the Schmodown nowadays. We just saw a Star Wars match hit 100 points combined a couple months ago. And we got damn close to seeing it again. If one letter is spelled correctly, we would have saw that shit again. But again, I digress. This match with Lon and Chance, Lon still played well. Chance definitely played better. Chance didn't need no third round questions. But Lon getting DreamWorks, we saw what happened to Liz Shannon Miller when she got DreamWorks. It sunk her against Roka. Did she do bad at it? No. But in the Schmodown now, you can't be getting 4 out of 8 points or around that. Plus, it doesn't help when your opponent's stealing these questions, like what Chance is doing to Lon, creating that disparity between the two of them. Like I like Lon a lot. I think he's obviously really good at movie trivia. Final Exam, one of the best teams out right now. But like the whole discourse of like when we talk about Oyama and that damn Money in the Bank he has, we're not talking about teams. Is that sad? We're talking about singles. We're talking about when he can play Dan. That was the whole discourse last time we talked about Swag and Oyama. He kept talking about, when can he play Dan? When can he play Dan? When can he play Dan? Because we're not talking about when he can play Shazam. Like, and I don't know what that says more about. Paul or Lon or Final Exam as a whole. But the whole, I don't, Lon as an elite player, he may have been, not anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree. I just think that I'm not, and I hate when we say this, and I'm not saying this, but when we say it's not that the game has passed them on. We just it's going to get into this conversation of commitment, of how you look at Paul Preston talked about it. He never studied. This year he studied, and look how good he did. He went down to a 5-porter with JT. You don't think Paul Preston in that tournament is going to be scary? Now that he said, yeah, I'm studying now. I'm studying with Den. I'm studying with Jessica Sloth. I'm studying with Ben Goddard. I'm studying with Mark Riley. You don't think he's going to look scary in that tournament? So it's you got to evolve. You got to evolve and adapt. No, it's okay, Chris. You got to evolve and adapt. And I think that's one of the issues that we see with the Schmodown right now. A lot of people want to play this game and not evolved. And we're going to get into this conversation of commitment and all this stuff, but the game's change. You know, even Christy had a bad game, but she has an outside life, but she's still putting work in. That's what the Schmodown is. You got to put in the work. If you're not going to put in the work, it's going to show. And I'm not saying Lon's not putting in the work.
Yeah, we don't know Lon.
But where it seems like every time we talk about a Lon match, he's this close. He's this close.
It's always something.
It's always something. So I don't know what it is, and this doesn't take away doesn't take away from Chess Ellison. Plays great. This man's a 3-division possibility of being a champ. So Chance Ellison is right there. You know, now you've already got the bracket out with Video Drew, Marisol, Janine. That's going to be ending soon with Marisol's number 1 contender match. Mm-hmm. So now you have this new path with Ellison. Whoever, I can't think of who else we would have on that path.
And the Ethans and the...
Oh, no, sorry. So that's the other path.
Next.
You have the Roka, the Ethans, the Batemans, and all that stuff. So now that's going to be a path.
Bateman and Irwin now. It's just
Bateman Irwin. So now you have, Ellison. Who else is going to be on that path? Possibility of Adam Collins being on that path with Ellison. Well, with Ellison, but they won't play because they're faction mates. You might see, or we'll see what happens with the 2-0 rookies. There was conversation on Jay Wade's network. Should 2-0 rookies be on the path to a championship? And a lot of people were saying no, but I'm saying, well I'm not saying they should be in it.
Who's going to be on a number 1 contenders match for his next one?
Well, it's the question is, should they be on the path? Absolutely. If you're 2-0 and haven't lost, you're on the path, but you're not getting a number 1 contender shot
At least for
the
another
next match.
Right.
You at least have to go. You're at least going 3 more matches. You're going to win 2 more, and then you get a number 1 contender.
You might only have to win 1 more. I say this because Kevin Smith won 1 match towards the end of last year.
But hold on. But here's the problem with that. And maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this. It's because Kevin Smith is a draw. There's no other reason.
But when Christian and I were talking about this, he said it's because he had won 3 matches.
Yeah, I understand that. So I understand that.
I'm just talking about from what I heard from the man himself. That's why
I can tell you right now, Christian can come on here. He can DM me. I guarantee you the reason why that he gave him the opportunity is because he's a draw. That's there's just no way there's no other way to look at it.
Marisol won 3 straight matches. If Drew had won, yes, I understand that, Matt. I get where you're coming from, but you would have had Kevin Smith play 1 more person to meet Marisol for that number 1 contender match. He played Stacey Howard, and then now he's put into a number 1 contender match. And not only that, Matt, you're talking about he put him in a number 1 contenders match. They hadn't played yet, so it was easy for Christian to say, yeah, well, he won 3 matches in a row. I'm not knocking Christian for it because it's the best thing for the Schmodown. Kevin Smith in a number 1 contender match to play the champion Dan Murrell, who he played in movie fights. Come on, dude. Of course, I'm going to say, well, he won 3-0. That's why he's in the number 1 contender spot. Come on.
I want to first off, ASG's bringing up some great points. I want to answer your question, ASG. So, like, if Radis plays the winner of whoever the Patreon match is, and when it goes live on Wednesday, so Schloth or Alvarez, right?
Yeah,
they'll be 3-0. Okay, great. So then Radis should be getting that,
number 1 contender
or Alvarez or Schloth. They should be getting a number 1 contender match by that same logic. Not that I disagree,
and it won't happen. And it's because. Which is fine because I could tell you right now, if I were to talk to Rick, maybe not Rick Radis because Rick Radis is full of himself. But if you talk to Jessica Sloan or Alvarez, you're 3-0 right now. Do you feel you should play for the number 1 contender spot? Guarantee you, both of them would be like, no, not yet. You know,
but we'll see. Things change. I mean, we had a bunch of announced changes that I definitely want to at least touch on before the show wraps today. But I want to answer your question, ASG. Who do we rank? Lon, Riley, Preston? I'm assuming in regards to like the better player. I think that's if that's what you mean, ASG. Matt, how would you rank them? Lon, Riley, and Preston.
Preston is my number 1 without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to say Riley based off the fact that he's won multiple times, and then
Lon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go because last year Riley looked like to be on a run, especially in that singles tournament. So I mean, going based off last year and this one match.
Who do you run into, Snyder?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was Snyder, right?
So. It was Snyder. Yeah, because he beat Video Drew. I believe it was Snyder. But I'd go Preston Riley Long for me. I would go Preston Long Riley me.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. And to me, like Preston, he's another one of those guys that doesn't like his record doesn't reflect how good he is as a player. But going back to the Lon being elite conversation, it's like, would we consider Riley elite at this point?
See,
Riley, I think the hard part for Riley is he's it's kind of funny because you'll count him out.
But he's playing well against elite talent.
He plays well against elite.
It's not like he's playing poorly, and it's just Riley seems to be a player that suffers from continual ring rust because he'll play well, won't have a match for a while, then he might look rusty, and then end up playing well by the end of the match. That's just what it seems like Riley is at this point. Because let's look at the history of the Schmodown. Back when it was less people, he was playing nonstop, play. It's why his record is as high as it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's just such a situational thing.
And so to you, Lon is an elite by that standard. So since you ranked Riley above Lon.
I still consider Riley elite because he's still playing well against elite talent.
Okay.
I consider Preston elite. It's like Peggy said right there in the chat. Preston is a prime example of a player's
100%
talent.
1,000%.
So I believe the same thing for Riley. Honestly, it's that elite.
You're muted, Shug.
HG, I have to disagree with you because even though Lon has beaten Preston wasn't studying. He's studying now. He said it himself. He's studying.
Preston,
it's a different Preston.
When Lon beat Preston had a lot going on in his life.
Yeah. So you have to take that into account. It's why I know it's bad to say, but the Kevin Smets Chandru match, yes, Chandru won the belt, but I have to like put an asterisk by that because of what he was going through. And I feel it's the same way with Preston when Lon played him. But you have that right to that opinion, SG. You know? You have
and
a right to that opinion.
And the like people are always gonna go down to the stats, right? And they're gonna remember what happened on paper. When you look at that match on paper, Preston lost to Lon. That's what people are going to remember, not necessarily the circumstances. At least that's what people are going to look at because it's not going to have an asterisk and explain what was going on with both those guys at that point. And we don't know Lon either. We don't know what the hell Lon's going through in his personal life. He could be going through it right now, and that's why he lost the chance. But we don't know, and we will never know. Fool's Gill in the chat says, for me, it's a Lon, Preston, Riley. Word. And even Preston, I think he can beat Lon more than get beaten. If it was a best of 7 with Lon and Preston, I think Preston takes it in 5 or 6.
5 matches. Yeah, 5 matches.
It's like right now, I think Preston, and we saw that in the Outsiders match too. Like that match, when people talk about Ben Goddard and Paul Preston, like of course Paul's great at singles, but let's not forget, I know they only played 1 match, but damn it, that match was good against Lightning Time. They just played a team that was better than them that day, that beat them by, if I'm not mistaken, 1 point. It was a 1 point difference between the two. We could be looking at a whole different tournament. If Lightning Time loses to Outsiders, then the discourse is different when Lightning Time's like, oh man, the experiment failed. And then we look at Outsiders, maybe they beat Rushmore. We have a different final. Who knows? Who the hell knows? But what we do know is that Preston and Goddard are the shit over there at the Den, and they're really damn good. That's why they're Kate's top 2 players. Outsiders match proved that easily. And say what you want about Goddard's inner geekdom play. He's a good ass teammate to Paul Preston. ASG in the chat. I think Lon has some large holes in the wheel or certain categories in general, which is why he's hot and cold. So he could TKO or get TKO'd, all depending on the questions that day. Totally. So, and that's for anybody. I shouldn't say for, that's like 90% of the league, unless you're like a Dan Murrell or an Adam Collins or Jeff Snyder
or Thomas Harper.
Thomas Harper in Star Wars. It totes depends on the person, but there's like a select group of talent that I feel like you can give them any category and they'll do all right. But again, that's the precedent that the Schmodown has set. Let's look back at Collins Murrell from last December at Spectacular. That's arguably the 2 best singles players going right now. And that match was, pun intended, spectacular. My favorite match of last year. But at the same time, it's hard. It's hard. And we said that about Janine for years. Last year, she had a bad sample size because we saw her, once? I bit my tongue. Once?
We saw her in IG, and then we saw her against Riley. Yeah.
And then we saw her against Warfather.
So we saw her 3 times. Okay, cool. So, even then, in the asterisk, that is the entire season of 2020. Because people are always going to Adam Collins playing a digital era. Or, there's only X amount of matches in the beginning of the year, whatever. There's always going to be an asterisk about that season. But guess what? It happened. So we also have to keep that into consideration. But with these folks, Lon obviously is really good at movie trivia. I'm not going to knock him for that. But like what ASG is saying, like what Shug was saying earlier, he has gaps that sink him. Or for one reason or another, like Matt, when we had the first show, the first spin from the reel after he played Adam Collins, the one thing I kept emphasizing, not that Adam Collins was significantly better than him in movie trivia, is that my man got too comfy. He was incredibly comfy, that him and Winston were laughing it up, chumming it up. Oh, we're swag. Yeah, we're doing really good this season. And then he gets knocked out a couple questions later because of the category that he chose. to stick with.
Yeah, that horror one. Oof.
So, and I know he's really good at horror. He's proven to be good at horror. But that day, the questions weren't on his side, and he got knocked out. And Adam Collins is pretty damn good at horror movies. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Like it's also, and as I don't want it to seem like I don't like Lon Harris because I do, but it's that discourse of, oh, they're wishy-washy, they're hot and cold. We don't know which version of that person we're going to get that day. Remember the whole final exam stuff not too long ago? The question wasn't how good Paul was going to be that day. It was which Lon are we getting? That was the question. That's what decided people's fate with final exam. Which Lon are we getting? It's like, what other elite players do we say about? Like, do we say that about? Damn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Which elite player here are we getting that day?
Yeah,
I feel
we'll never
I
say.
don't hear that. I don't think we hear that.
We'll never say what version of Chance Ellison are we getting? What version of Adam Collins, Dan Murrell, Thomas Harper, Mike Kalinowski, Mara? You know, we're never going to say even Chandru. What version of Chandru are we getting?
Right.
We're not going to say that. We say that a lot with Lon Harris. So I think, you know, that's just what it is. And again, times change. Whether you want to admit it or not, times change and things. The game has evolved, and it's either you're going to change with the times or you're going to stick in your ways, and you're going to lose matches. Sorry to tell you, that's just how it is.
Like the game and the whole league has changed, and there was a divide. I put that divide at the beginning of season 7. The second, we're gonna have a faction title, and we're gonna do all these things. Like fantastic, great, but you can even mark it as early or as like through 6 though. And ASG in the chat, only good player I hear. What version is with Mike Kalinowski? I've heard that discourse before, and
it's a bit, but like Fool's it's singles though.
It's in singles.
Singles though, and we've always said Mike
career.
is. Yeah, it hasn't, but we've always said with Mike Kalinowski that singles is his weakest division, which is so weird because he's so good at teams, you know, and well, sometimes in the first and night, you know, but I get where ASG's coming from with that comment. So
right. I see what you're saying, brother. And I mean, we've talked about it on this show before, and I guarantee you the next time corruption plays, we'll talk about it again. But to talk about Chance for a minute, because I feel like we've been talking a lot about Lon. Like, Shug, you nailed it on the head, dude. Chance, if people still aren't buying the Chance hype, I don't know what else my man has to do. Like, he got damn close to Inner Geekdom belt. He's a multiple-time teams champion. He's on his way. He could be on his way to another one. And then he's pretty darn good at singles. So, what else? And at his age, I don't want to point out the whole age thing, but
Chance, a lot of time left.
Right, like. We could be seeing a lot of Chance Ellison going forward, and if he excels in all 3 divisions, which he easily could, like how Mike almost did a few seasons ago, where he could have been Mikey 3 belts, Chance isn't too far off of that. At least I don't think so. Like, even in that Inner Geekdom loss against Robert Parker, he still put up a good match. He just went up against a hot Robert Parker at the time, who was not missing a question. At the time, he wasn't missing. So, like, that's the wall he ran into. But sometimes Chance is that wall that people run into. May I cite the Inner Geekdom tournament from last year? Like, Chance's out here spoiling everybody's time. Jeez, he spoiled Mike's. He won the whole damn tournament. And that was when Inner Geekdom was like, oh, word. Like, Inner Geekdom, they still haven't lost it. Inner Geekdom, if anything, the level of competition has gone up. But the addition of films this year and seeing the level of competition, Mara, Chandru, Robert Parker, Mike Kalinowski, Chance is up there as far as I'm concerned. But in singles, he's still really darn good at what he does. Like, and we've said on the show before, like, and Mike Kalinowski said it, that Chance is the better singles player or the better teams player of the 2.
Yeah, he's the best player.
Mike straight up said that in an interview post pay-per-view. So, and those are 2 guys that are going to be playing Shazam sometime soon. Like, it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be a great match.
100%. But Chance is really darn good. And I don't know what happens next after the Ethan Ben match. Because is that number 1 contender? Did we get that confirmed? Right?
That's number 1 contender.
That's after the Marisol Kevin Smith.
No.
Or is that before?
No. I think I think the Bateman Ewan plays. I think
after the Marisol Smith winner plays Dan. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, like, Chance, he's gonna have to wait a minute because, like, that's just the nature of the game. There's gonna be 2 more title matches before we even before Chance can even participate in one, if he gets there. So it's gonna be probably what the leaves gonna be falling in September or October. We don't know.
Yeah, it'll go into September or something, and then you'll see a singles tournament about that time. So yeah,
That could be, and that's a conversation we'll have then. But Chance is really darn good at what he's doing, and I don't know what else he has to do for folks to buy into it. I really don't.
All right, we've been avoiding this one. Let's get into that. IG match.
Oh, that match had no controversy in it. Well, it wasn't controversy, so I don't know why you guys are all struggling about this. It was a good match. Good match.
Here,
go ahead, Chris. Let's go. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Saul whooped ass.
Why are we feeding the rejects to Saul? Like Saul. Okay, yo, my strikes aside. With Saul.
Watch. We said his name. He's gonna pop up in the chat probably.
Right. He's been lurking this whole time. Probably. I don't know. But with his performance, dude, and I believe he is Reject Killer. They actually lost subscribers. I'm kidding. But he got, was it Batman in his second round, and he whooped its ass. He was eating it up as one would. But then the Alba getting Jurassic Park, and like Alba, okay, let me rephrase. Alba played really well in the first round. He did. Like, I know that K and the O on the screen says otherwise. That first round was really good, but it wasn't great. Especially going back to the conversation, how you got to be perfect nowadays. And Saul went first, got Batman. He ate that category up, and then then he spins Jurassic Park. You can even tell on my man's face. He was like, "Oh, geez, here we go." Excuse me. And he didn't do too hot. And Saul was right there to pick up the scraps. Like, Saul has nothing to play with the inner geekdom. And thankfully, he's on my fantasy team. Homeboy and the Heartbreakers. Thank you, Saul. But, geez, dude. He's a force to be. I don't know what the hell Brandon Hanna did to him last year. I really don't. I don't know, because my man came in like he was the Collider Live guy with the beard.
People forget that people really forget that he's the original fan. There's, Janine was the original. I'm sorry, I apologize. Janine was the original fan. Turned Shmo down.
Mm-mm.
Yes, she was. Talk to her.
She was the second. She was the second.
Before her, Paul.
No. What are their names?
Chance. Oh, late to the party.
Thank you.
The reactors.
No. Yeah, but I'm talking about their reactors and everything like that. But I'm talking, but no, I think Janine was before the late to the party.
Leo Logan, I know you're in the chat. Who predates? Yeah,
Leo Logan would know. Anyways,
late to the party or Janine the Machine.
People forget the dog took the bacon guy. Remember that?
Yeah,
if y'all don't remember, you don't remember when the guy called. He goes, "Oh shit, the dog got the bacon." That's
Chris
Saul.
Watch Collider Live. Oh, we know that.
That's Saul. And people forget that.
I remember Saul from Collider Live, man. Don't speak for me.
And look, we're gonna get into this topic of seriousness and everything like that. But
late to the party, season 4. Janine was season 5. Thank you, Leo Logan, in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Leo Logan.
Thank you, Leon.
Matt, it's the one time you got something right. You want to celebrate? Okay.
I get things right a lot of the time.
Anyway.
We're having that conversation.
So,
check off your WAP bingo card.
And you're right, Chris. Last year, what Hannah did to Saul changed him completely, and we see it. We see his intensity, and there's conversations, people saying, "Wow, man, this guy's taking this really intensely." Sometimes this means a lot to people. Look, you don't think they might not show it, but remember when Roka took this seriously? I mean, he still does, but remember when Roka was on the top of his game?
Roka was that intensity guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was that intense.
That's right.
Dan Murrow,
look
at, go back and watch the Dan Murrow versus Guy match. Dan Murrow was taking this game seriously because he got pissed off that the guy was screwing with him.
Mhm.
Okay. Look, the Schmodown has always been taken seriously. And I understand, we'll get in this conversation. I understand that you want to have those people that have fun. I am all down for that. I am perfectly fine for that.
Here we go.
But here we are going. Throw the graphic up. You know what graphic to throw up, Matt?
Oh,
Yeah, throw it up. That way you guys can don't take the heat for this. I'll take it. I don't care.
Hold on, because that was on a. I deleted it, but because it was a joke. But hold on, it's right here.
Because that takes hot. It's hot.
Yeah, I got it. Give it 5 seconds. There we go.
There we go.
Here, you can
Okay, everybody cover it.
Go ahead. Go.
But this when it comes to this match, and we'll talk about it because I've been seeing the comments. I posted Twitter, all this stuff. I am all down that this league has people that want to have fun. That's not the problem here. It's not my takeaway from this match. My issue with this match came from when a competitor looks into the camera and pretty much says they don't care. And you can't tell me that when someone says, I just didn't put in the work. Understandably, people have jobs. People have other lives. People have kids. People have things going on. 100% get that as a fan. But as a fan, you don't tell me you don't put the work in and then want me to come support what you do. And I'm talking about the Schmodown. Outside of Schmodown, Real Rejects, I support them 100%. I support Greg 100%. He is a great guy. I love the Real Rejects. That's the first reaction show I have ever watched, and I love them to death. They're great. They do awesome stuff. But when it comes to the Schmodown, and you look into the camera and you say, I didn't put the work in, I have other things going on. As a fan, yes, I'm going to take that personally. And I've heard it, people say, well, what about, that's just one person. Yeah, but that one person is telling me that what I support is not important to them. And they're part of that. So then why in turn do I want to continue to support that if that's the attitude we're going to have? Again, making comments that are disrespectful, talking about going after someone's looks, going out saying that you're not committed to the game. Like okay, there's a perfect example. As fans, we're not supposed to say, "Oh, you're not committed to the game." So then why in turn does the competitor get to say, well, the game's not that important to me? That just rubs me the wrong way. And again, I get it. You have family, you have jobs, you have things going to. We know Greg is trying to produce a movie. We know what he does with the Real Rejects.
Just got engaged.
Completely.
So he's got a
wedding. He got engaged. He's got a wedding to plan. Completely understand. But then look in the camera and just say, easily could have just said, you know what? Saul's good. I just wasn't prepared.
Or life got in the way. That's a more
life got in the way.
More respectful.
Life got in the way. You could have said, you know what? Right now my time is real. I did whatever. But to say that, to look in the camera and just say I didn't put in the work with a smile and just I didn't put in the work. I have other things to do. And then go on Twitter and just talk about, oh, well, yeah, I don't really care. That rubs fans the wrong way. And I do, and competitors, you know what? My Twitter's open. You could DM me. That rubs me the wrong way because I'm here supporting you. You want me to come to a live show and go and support this product, but you want to tell me that you just doesn't mean much to you?
Okay.
I think people being able to hear the inflection behind your voice is important because I know you went on Twitter the other day and said similar stuff, and a lot of people probably just thought you were getting loud just because they know you're loud.
Got hot just to get hot,
right? But people like this. We should probably clip this out and you can post this on or be like, yo, this is me saying this in a respectful way. Like, it's more so the how am I supposed to support you in Schmodown? Because that's what you said here. It's like, how am I supposed to come and want to watch your matches?
Exactly. And look at there was a lot of debate. I saw a show talk about it, and I believe they were talking about me because they used my exact words, which cool, no problem. I don't run away from it, but yes, it feels like a slap to the face as a fan because why? Yeah, and Drago quit because he couldn't commit. And I understand. And look at this goes back to what I said about Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith is a draw. Greg Alba, and I hate to say this, I hope Christian's not watching this. Real Rejects have over 857,000 subscribers for their channel. Schmodown has 300,000. Greg Alba is a draw. Understand why he is booked for matches, why he is in the Schmodown. And yes, Schmodown is here to have fun. But don't look at me as a fan and say, well, I'm here to have fun, but it doesn't mean anything to me, and I didn't put the work in. And then expect me as a fan to buy a ticket to fly across the country to New York to show up to watch a match. Or to know that the next match is going to be Greg Alba versus whoever, and you want me to watch that match. Because you know what? A lot of people say, well, if you don't like what he's doing, don't watch it. Okay. So what happens if the 300,000 Schmodown fans decide, I don't want to watch Greg Alba play Schmodown and don't watch the match? Who suffers? The Schmodown. As fans, we don't want that to happen. But we also want the respect as fans. You don't have to be 100% committed. We understand that. Nobody's saying you have to be 100% committed. But don't tell us I'm not committed, I don't really care, or it wasn't that important for me. Because then that's what bothers us as fans. And that's my issue. My issue is not Greg had the other things to do, and this should be the center of his life. That's not the problem. I'm not mad that he didn't study. That's not the problem.
You're upset that he vocalized the why he didn't do it, or why he performed the way he performed.
Yes,
and he was honest.
And he was honest about it, but it wasn't. It was like the way he looked in the camera. He's like, I didn't put the work in. I had more important things to do.
Now, if I can jump in for a second,
absolutely, Chris.
With because you had told me earlier today that you wanted to say something about this. That's perfectly fine. Because to an extent, I agree with you, Shook. I would hate it if someone, I mentioned the Cubs earlier, I'll say it again. If Javi Baez is like, yeah, I don't care. I'm here, and I'm doing what I can. Like, I would hate that if a player on my favorite sports team said in an interview that they didn't care. You didn't have to tell me that. Lie to me. Especially, like, you know what? In this whole space, this whole Schmodown stuff, it borrows a lot from pro wrestling. So in pro wrestling, like when a wrestler is written off TV, they give a reason. It may not be the legitimate reason, but it's a reason nonetheless. So when Greg had said, because Shug, you were the first person, before I watched the match, you had told us that you weren't a fan of certain things that happened. Okay, so when I watched it for myself, I'm like, okay, I see why he's upset. And I totally understand. And you have more than enough reason to do so, because every single thing you just said, it's like, why if who's it? If Dan Murrell straight up was like, yeah, I don't care. How would, because that would reflect the league. Because like, it's Dan, like, oh my God. Or like, the Real Rejects, ASG in the chat now, it's Saul, he KO'd the guy who didn't care. Right, and it hurts Saul's rep as well, but I think Saul will be fine. I think he's loud enough to be heard, regardless of how his opponent feels. Excuse me. But I wouldn't like that. I don't like it. But I appreciate Greg's honesty. And yes, we also have to consider that the Schmodown is not folks' number one priority. Every single person in the movie Trivia Schmodown has something else. Shit, we all have something else on this screen that we prioritize on any given day. Fool's Guild in the chat. There's a reason why no one talks shit about Stacey Howard. She admits she don't study, but she gives her 100% no matter what if she's playing. Yo, if I haven't heard her say that. If she says that,
she's gone on record saying
she is numerous times. She said, "I don't study." She
like,
shows up.
Yeah, she's like, she's like, I may study a bit when I learn to have a match and prep for it, but I'm not studying year round like everyone else.
Word. And last year, I was the first person to be like, "Yo, Greg Alba's good at inner geekdom. He slept. He shouldn't be underestimated." And in this match, if he's given a different wheel slice, maybe we're having a different conversation. But with how the match panned out, we're having this discourse, and because of what he said.
Well, it's not even about the match, though, Chris. That's not the problem.
Oh, okay. But
the match is the match. If it's fine, because if
he didn't get knocked out, he wouldn't have said. Odds are he wouldn't have said that.
Yeah, exactly. But let's say he wins, and he says, "I didn't even study." Okay, we're like, damn, Greg Alba was that good. But it's the fact that he looked in the camera. He's like, it's not that important to me,
and it makes everybody else by proxy look bad, or it makes it look lesser than what it was. Like Saul's victory. Saul deserves every single inch of love and respect that he's getting for having 2 straight knockouts this year. That's awesome. Oh my God. When's the last person you can say had 2 consecutive knockouts? Not TKOs, knockouts. Like who, and especially 2 dudes from the same faction nonetheless. But that it lessens it to an extent. I still think it's a dub. Hell yeah, it's a W. I'll happily take it for Saul. But all these folks have something else, whether it's a day job. Like Chrissy just came out here and said she had a whole ass life. And then
she's a teacher.
But she still is putting in the effort to do this. Now that's what we want to hear as fans. That the folks that we're supporting give a shit. That's what we want. That's what we want to hear. Well, like we're all on here with our respective shillness. If someone from Swag, someone from the Den, someone from Corruption, the Dungeon, whatever the hell, if they said, "Oh, y'all don't study," it's like, well, damn, here I am with the shirt, you know, like represent, like that's the faction. And I'm not saying it speaks to the whole faction, but to your point, Shay, like it's like we're out here supporting these folks, and we don't like to hear that they don't care. We don't like that.
And people bring up Josh McCouga. Let me say something about Josh McCouga. Everybody knows Josh McCouga wasn't the best player in the league. Everyone knew the man knew what he knew, and that was it. But you know what he did? He showed up every time. He put on a show, and he never once said he didn't care.
Christian booked him for a reason.
And never once did he say he didn't care. And that's my issue. He
genuinely loved it. He's like, I get to act a fool, play a heightened version of myself.
Like, yeah, exactly. But he never said he didn't care. And I look, I posted Twitter. I seen some videos. Nobody's saying that the effort isn't there. But when it comes out of your mouth, I'm calling what comes out of your mouth. If you say, I did this, and I just repeat what you say, people shouldn't get upset about it. People should be like, well, that's what he said. Greg Alba looked in the camera at the end of that match and said, I didn't put in the work. I have other things I got to do. Okay, that's fine. Then you go on Twitter and said, things of that. Look it, you don't have the time. And he says, well, I've told them to give my spot. Okay, understandable. They don't want to because you're a draw. Cool, whatever. So then you either say, hey, you know what? I just don't really want to match. Or you just don't say what you said. He can in his head be like, I don't give a shit about this. Cool. But why say it out loud?
Right.
And then be upset when fans say something. Like he didn't respond to me. He responded to another fan, but why be upset?
And to play devil's advocate for a second, the reason why he went on Twitter is because he probably felt the scrutiny. And again, not every out of how many people are in the Schmodown? 90? Like out of the competitors?
90. Well, yeah, just competitors.
Give or take with managers.
Yeah.
And like or a little bit more with the 98, right? So the 98 folks in the Schmodown, not every single one of them is going to put in the effort like all these folks who live and die by studying. Like, not to just bring him up, but he's the prime example, and I use his name on the show all the time for studying. Ben Bateman. A man goes out of his way. He's out here rewatching John Roca matches, you know? like just so you can get a gist on what John does as a person, as a competitor, right?
Yeah, and not everybody's Bateman. I understand,
and not
that.
everybody's like that, and we have to keep that in mind as well. But to your point, we don't like to. If I was a competitor, right? If I was in the Schmodown, I'm like, oh, because I know a lot of folks who love to be in Greg's position. There are folks in the SEL who would love to be in Greg's position.
How many audition tapes did when Christian put that out for the Schmodown did he get? Thousands.
And again, like I could just say, Greg's a draw. He has almost 1 million subs on YouTube. That cannot be scoffed at all. Especially
that can't be scoffed at. Yes.
But like not everybody can bring the same effort. You have to think about that sometimes. But to your point, no one likes it when it's verbalized.
Exactly.
Like he could feel that way. I guarantee he's not the only person that feels that way. But he's the one that put it out there. And the fans and us fans don't like it when the people that we're watching every week pseudo poo on the things that we're committing our lives to. Like we've met because of this movie trivia thing. But the second that this movie trivia thing is tarnished, we're gonna feel a certain way about it because it means something to us. It's deeper than, oh yeah, I watch videos about guys that do movie trivia every single Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's deeper than that.
Right.
And when we hear that the folks that we're watching don't care or they don't put in the effort, like it's like a smack in the face. Exactly. But Greg and how he feels is how he feels. And I know for a fact he's the minority because we always, and y'all know better than me, that there are folks in the Schmodown that work their asses off on top of going to work, on top of feeding their kids, on top of being in a healthy relationship, doing the best that they can, right? And that's
health issues. Look at Mara.
And all their health issues, right? Like you mentioned Kevin earlier. Like he was going through it and still committed to that match. We changed you last summer.
It's been well made. No, he didn't know yet. He wasn't
diagnosed, but he was still feeling ill.
He was still feeling ill. Yes.
Yes. So like these folks have a lot going on in their personal lives, and we forget. And I shouldn't say we forget, but that's something that we don't prioritize. We also think about this movie trivia stuff. I'm 100% agree with you, Shug. I don't like it when the people I watch all the time say they don't care as much as I do about the thing I watch, about me watching that. It sucks. It does suck. And I'm over here, we're doing the show every Monday, and it would suck if a lot of competitors were like, you know what? Yeah, Greg, like we second your notion. Well, it's like, then what the hell are we doing? But I know that's what he's doing, and y'all know better than me, and y'all make sure to let me know that a lot of these folks give a lot of a shit about the Schmodown for good reason, because they see its potential, they see its growth, and it's grown a lot over the last 18 months. Yeah. So,
I'll bring up 2 points real quick, Chris.
Please go ahead.
I just want to make sure that we understand this. Look, Greg was responding to a gentleman that said he sucked. That's uncalled for, saying you suck. Okay, that I understand. That's just uncalled for. We get it. I totally understand where he's coming from that point. The other point is, a lot of people said, and I've seen competitors talk about this, they don't get compensated. They get compensated, but it's not enough to pay the bills.
Right.
Probably gonna say something controversial, but
cold take, baby.
Those 1,000 people that put in audition tapes know that they ain't gonna make money off being in the Schmodown. Okay, you knew that coming in. You know that when you sign on, that you're not gonna make that kind of money. So if you know that, don't commit to that. And Draco, perfect example. Can't commit to it. Guess what he did? I gotta leave. He was a champion. And he said, I can't commit. I gotta go. Don't commit to it then.
And I get it,
and don't come to me and tell me, well, that's money I need or this and that. Okay, if that's the case, just put the work in. That's all. Doesn't mean I want you to study 18 hours a day, plus go to work, plus take care of your kids and all that stuff. I'm not asking that.
As far as we know, the only folks that are trying to make a living out of this are the people at the top, you know,
and the writers.
Like that's like the personalities, like especially trust me, some of them that's in radio. Like the personality isn't where the money's at. I'll be the first person to tell you that.
And Jeremy Miller, I'll respond to that. He's a draw. He is a draw. He has
and look at the Rejects' lifespan.
They have 850,000 subs on YouTube. He's a draw. There's no denying that. And I understand that. And again, Chris TV said it. A lot of people have said it. You don't want the Schmodown to be stale and it's so bloodbathing. No, I want fun matches too. But don't at the end of the match look in the camera and tell me you don't put the work in and you got other things to do.
I think this
just
is
say, just say it. Just say, you know what? Saul was good. Saul was even say that. Saul was better.
I'm just saying. My point is, if you want to say something like that, say life just got in the way. That's a more respectful.
Finds a way.
But my point is, it's a more respectful way to say it. You're not just saying outright, "I didn't prioritize it." It's just life got in the way.
Right, things happen. Things like that. That's what happens. Like, I know we're little baby after show, whatever.
I almost like we said earlier. I almost didn't make the show tonight. Life got in the way, and
I mean, me and Chris were hoping you were going to be here, but that's here and there.
But my point is, like Chris and I have talked. We all have all these different responsibilities over here. One of mine is I have to go to the preview screenings out here because this is where we have press credentials. So we had a preview screening. It looked like for a minute I wasn't gonna be able to be here, and I was lucky enough to where things worked out, and I was. Life just got in the way.
Yeah, I think for me I had talked to Greg. I interviewed him last year, and he talked about how joining the Corky Mercs he liked it more because it was that more familiar of having like people around you. Bibiani had taught them more studying tactics, working with the kid. So it was exciting. Remember last year when he took Mike to his 5, we're like, damn, wait till Greg next year, another year under his belt with the Corky Mercs. What is he going to do in the tournament? What is he going to do in IG? And I think that's the disappointing part, that he just came out and was like, yeah, I just didn't put the work in. I had more important things to do. And that's why I keep emphasizing those two, because that's what he said. I'm not switching it up. I'm not saying effort. He said those two things. And that's why I'm just like, okay, man, cool.
And of course, it's always going to go down to the whole, because I'll be the first person to say this in regards to something where it's like, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch it. So and I'm not saying you should, but like if anybody doesn't like a competitor, don't watch their matches. Like it's as simple as that, because the Schmodown is bigger than just one person. And I think the only person we can really say that about, that we cannot say that about, is Christian, because Christian is the Schmodown. But with competitors, if you don't like X player, don't watch their matches. I've heard of folks that only watch certain factions. I don't understand how peeps can do that, but folks do it. It's awesome. Good for them. Folks who only watch corruption matches, good on them. Folks who only watch swag matches, good for them. Because they like who they like. But if someone's out here verbalizing that, like, oh, I don't care, or I didn't put the work in, like, of course, people aren't going to react the way that they thought they would. Like, no one's going to be like, oh, damn, I get why you wouldn't put the work in. I understand, But like, you committed to this, and like at the same time, these folks have personal lives. I have to keep that in mind as well. But I feel like we're talking in circles. At the end of the day, Saul was the talking point to me. Saul was the takeaway. It's back-to-back knockouts. Like I said, I don't know the last time someone did that. Not TKOs. We've seen a lot of those, especially this year. But knockouts, back-to-back matches. Probably. Maybe. But
and look at the announcement Christian just made. And look at the announcement Christian just made today. That collision match is now going to be
half digital, half in the studio live.
Yeah, and the IG's in studio.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. That's big. Think about that for a second.
Saul in person.
Moss or Amaru wins that match. It's an in studio match. Moose. Did I say Moss? Moose.
Yep.
Moose Haas.
Moose or-
It's all right.
Moose
I didn't know
Haas?
what you meant.
Yeah, Moose or Amaru win that match. Look at Moose Haas looks good. I want Amaru to win that match because I want to see Amaru and Saul go at
I
it.
want Amaru to win so bad.
I think that's a perfect segue to this.
Wait. Before we do predictions, I want y'all's thoughts on the I know we talked about changes to the Shimoda a few weeks ago, but Christian confirmed that there will be change next year. Like we got some solidified change from the man's mouth. So I'm not just making up any garbage. Like, because we're getting in studio matches again for the first time at Collision. Collision being, I think, the 31st of July.
It's the IG number one contenders match, Jeremy. So Chandler's not playing with buzzers right now.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah.
He could.
It would be the Star Wars and singles contender will be the digital format, and IG contender and teams will be in studio.
Which that teams, hell yes, please give me some more. But in regards to the changes, I know it's still in its infancy. We're halfway through the season, not even halfway. But that change, when y'all heard changes, what was the thing that went through your mind?
Poor Peggy. Yeah, poor Peggy. That is the worst. I'm rooting for Rue to beat Haas, but I'm not looking forward to Rue versus Saul if it happens. Oh, we are.
Yeah, we are.
I know. Oh, we know, Peggy. We know. And look at Rue. Rue is the homie. I respect Amaru more now than because now, and I know for a fact Amaru is taking this match against Haas seriously, and he wants to win it because he wants to play Saul and he wants to beat Saul, and that's a competition I love because Saul took some shots at him, and Rue took it, and I guarantee you, Moose's match and Amaru's match, Amaru's gonna take some shots at Saul, and that's what I love to see. I want to see it, and look, like I said, I'm excited because I want to see Amaru win because he's number 2 pick, and that's big too, and that's a big thing too, and now you got Saul coming and doing this thing, so I'm super excited. And poor Peggy, man, she has to choose between faction mate and one of her best friends. We'll pray for you.
We'll get in the Brother Lomas prayer circle. We'll pray for you, Peggy. But when y'all heard that there's gonna be changes to next year, how did y'all react to the nuke level, to the corruption anarchy level changes that we're going to potentially?
I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to have a reaction until I know what it is and until it happens. Yeah, that's just where I'm at. That's why I was like, I can brush over this.
I 100% believe a lot of people believe he's getting rid of factions.
Yeah.
That's And remember we were yelling at each other like a month ago talking about how factions should go, and then now the discourse, at least that we see all over the place, is that the idea of no factions.
I don't think factions should go, but here's the problem.
I don't think factions should go either.
Here's the problem. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because of COVID and everything. But not only that, but because of COVID and people out of state, it's hard to get people matches. It's hard for schedules. And so factions suffer because they can't get a scheduled match for certain players, so their factions suffer.
Like my man, where's my man at? He's on the East Coast, right?
Yeah. A lot of people have said, why don't factions get a set number of matches? Almost like the NBA. I think it would be like the same as sports,
just sports. Because football has set matches. NBA, hockey.
Yeah, you get each faction gets a certain amount of matches, and then if you win, you get to. No. If you get everybody gets a certain amount of matches, but if you win more, then you get more matches. So you're guaranteed 20 matches. But if you win more, then you get more than 20. If you let's just say you lose all 20 matches, then you don't get no more matches. But it's a guarantee. It's a guarantee that all your players will play. That people have suggested that, but that's hard. It's hard for people to get out here to the West Coast. Even with the digital format, people have the time changes. We do a show. It's 7 o'clock here. And it's 10
o'clock where I'm at.
10 o'clock where you guys are at. It's hard to do matches that way. So I think that's what they're looking at.
I mean, look at it this way. People who are like, oh, we need to have equal number of matches. So you're telling me that the usual suspects in Swag who have played 14 matches deserve the same amount of matches right now as the Finstock Exchange, who keep winning, and the Dungeon?
Right. and that's the hard part with setting matches.
Well, that's the thing, though, Matt.
No, true, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just providing.
Okay. But I'm just saying, if people were to be like, "Well, how does that work?" You have a set number of matches, but if you win those matches, then you're guaranteed more.
And with how the league's grown, we're doing 3 matches a week. If we were only doing 20 matches per team, we'd already be almost tapped out by now. The Exchange and Dungeon wouldn't have played their last 2 matches.
Well, he's saying that because they would have kept winning, they would have gotten more. You know what I mean?
I'm saying if we had the cap, we wouldn't be able to, they'd be done for the year is what I'm saying.
Of course, right. Jeremy, I see your comment talking about factions being organically formed, like how they used to. That's how the Schmoedown was for a minute. Like the Fife Club, the OG Lions Den was like that. Like there were factions that were just, people got together, or for storyline reasons they got together. And if that's the direction they go in, the Horsemen, any iteration of them, if that's where they go back to, I wouldn't be opposed to it if that's the direction they go. I hate to say this out loud. The Schmoedown, the competitiveness of the Schmoedown is fun. The matches are enticing. They're incredible. Obviously, people bring their A games and stuff. But Dan, I have so much anxiety watching these matches because there's so much at stake. Not only with and I know doing the show, doing all these after shows, and we're all committed to certain folks and certain factions, whatever. But the Schmoedown, how it used to be. Remember what's it called? Finn Draco and Makuga. We don't get that now. We don't, because it's too much of a risk, or that just wouldn't happen because of that was all story. That was pure story. The Mega Power splitting up, and Makuga I want to face Finstock. All right, he sends out in Draco. Makuga miraculously wins, but that wouldn't happen nowadays. If that's what we're going back to, at least not to exactly that, but to things like that, I wouldn't be opposed to it. You gotta, and I don't envy Christian for trying to find a happy medium between OG Schmoedown and how it is now with the gameplay and the competitiveness and factions. I don't envy him because that is awfully difficult and no one's gonna like it. No one liked Danark even the first show up because it split everybody's favorite teams up. Nobody liked the Nuke, but over time we're all like, oh yeah, who's the boss? Oh yeah, Founding Fathers. Oh yeah, Odd Couple, Shazam. We got all these great teams that are still rocking to this day. So it's going to take a second. And whatever that, to Matt's point, whatever the hell it is, we'll talk about it then. But nothing's set in stone. Besides, we did get numbers for tournaments, which is cool. We got, I think 8 for
Star Wars and IG, I think it said.
That's rough. 8 for IG, that's rough. But again, you can only do so much.
Dungeon is going to have to make a decision.
A few factions are, dude. And I wonder, I hope the lower number of tournaments for Star Wars Inner Geekdom means more for singles. I want to see a big singles tournament. I really do.
Yeah, some factions are in a good spot. Look at Den. If Saul goes to Collision and wins that match and gets to the title, Goddard gets to play and Goddard gets the opportunity at IG. If Saul loses, he could still possibly play.
That's still up in the air. I think Christian and Kate were talking about that on Collider Live. You don't know exactly how that one will pan out just yet.
And it was a lot of info was thrown at us, and it's a lot of hypothesizing what exactly is going to happen. But we got a number for Inner Geekdom Star Wars. I think we got a number for teams too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head though.
I want to say it was 16.
I'm looking at you.
And if someone in the chat can correct me if it's not 16, if it's 8.
You think that was a little bit of a to help Dungeon out there
for teams?
Yeah.
No.
I think so.
How so? I want to. Why?
Because Dungeon won the last tournament. If you only did an 8.
Oh, so you can put that
back. So here, Winston came on last time we did Shmoe Me the Real on our channel, and he straight up said he's like, this last tournament was basically the new teams tournament. Now the idea is the bigger tournament. You're going to have the older, already established teams with the new teams.
Dang.
Yeah, but Danger Zone and
Thanks, guys.
Whitney Sideball and Video Drew are both new teams.
Yeah, but that's because the dungeon is one of those situations to where you're just going to have that.
That's why but that's why I'm saying this was a favor to the dungeon because if
it's pump the brakes.
Because I'm saying there's other teams on like.
I understand what you're saying, Matt, but I'm saying this is to me it's a favor to the dungeon because if you only had 8 teams, it's the same for corruption. It's the same for corruption. Let me ask you a question: if we only had 8 teams and you take dungeon and corruption. Who does the corruption stick into the teams tournament? Who's dungeon stick in the teams tournament?
Sheesh.
Corruption would depend on who's champion because corruption has
as of right
now. I could if we're talking as of right now, there's only one choice because the other team has a championship match online. So that's
okay, but then they don't have a championship match. Who do you stick in?
If you don't have
that could be a possibility because that could be a possibility. Corruption could lose.
I'm saying if they don't have it, that's what I was trying to say. And Chris said as of right now, my point is you have to look in the future. And what I was about to say is I'm putting in corruption because who's won a title twice? Who's the only team to ever beat the founding fathers? Corruption, and who's already in would have played in a third.
Look at the dungeon.
Maybe Dan twice.
Danger Zone just won the tournament, but lost to play for the championship. Do you now give Whitney Sideball and Video Drew an opportunity?
We don't know that they're a team officially, though. That's the thing.
They're a team. They're a team. Trust me.
Probably.
Video Drew has said they're a team.
Who wants the team with Sideball?
So do you now say Video Drew and Whitney Sideball? Sorry, you got to sit in the sideline because Dan and Bateman get another opportunity, which is unfair because
another toughie.
You've been sitting there. That's what I'm saying. I believe this 16th tournament was to benefit some of these teams.
I disagree.
Because it even benefits corruption because corruption now, if corruption wins the belts, they can stick in deception and they can make up a new team to stick in there.
I mean,
it benefits. This was a benefit for some of these teams.
Didn't like how you started it, but I liked how you ended it. Because you started as this is a favor to the dungeon.
That's what she said.
All right, it's still true.
I mean, you could argue it's a favor to Swag because midterms looked like a formidable team, and
exactly
midterms look good as hell.
Exactly.
But my point is, you can't
give the opportunity for
but Shug, now that's my point. You're actually contradicting yourself because it's helping all these other factions because the usual suspects they can do lightning.
Well, no. I said it. It's a favor to. I was looking at the dungeon.
You're just trying to dig at Bateman, you son of a gun.
I was really trying to dig at Bateman.
That's what he's trying to do.
But you're right. It benefits all of them. Mm-hmm. It does benefit all of them because it would be tough to one if you had an elite team. Now tell your secondary team, oh, you're not playing again. So then they don't get to play again. Like you only got one match this year as a team. That sucks. So
it's
this was
fair.
Yeah. Oh, be quiet, Chris.
No, seriously. Like my biases aside.
At the same time, we got to start for a faction like the Stars. You got to they're a faction in flux. So this.
Okay, I know. Christy V was here, but we need to talk about this real quick. How in trouble are the Stars?
We talked about it last week.
Did we talk about it last?
We did. We spent like an hour talking about it.
But what I'm saying.
But now that Jacoby is lost,
now that Jacoby took an L,
really bad spot. They're in a really bad spot.
It's rough.
And Nick Harley, I hope Nick Harley gets a match right away because he has to come in.
I think
put in work.
I think he might get paired with Jacoby.
Good.
If
that might have to be a possibility now.
If Janine gets paired with Schneider, because now Schneider doesn't have you could argue Jacoby should be the one paired with Schneider.
Ooh, after that match, dude, I don't think so.
It's not like he played poorly. I'm just saying, like.
Wait, no, I'm talking about the otter couple match, not Jacoby's match.
But here's the thing: Roxy can have test matches. She can figure out what works better. I'm saying at the end of the day, she can decide Jacoby and Schneider make a better team than Janine and Schneider.
But I wanted to point out, we pointed this out last time. If Jacoby lost, Stars won't see any until the tournament matches, unless there's other single matches coming up.
Unless Harley gets a match or Felix gets a match.
Christie's second match.
Nobody's seeing a match until the tournament. And unless Christie gets a match, nobody's seeing a tournament. Nobody's seeing a tournament match until the tournament.
Yeah, Damon ain't. Well,
Damon's not seen until probably the Star Wars tournament.
No, I think he said we're going to see Damon before Star Wars tournament because he's owed a number one contender match now.
Okay, that was that just announced?
No, I'm pretty sure he said that when Damon lost against Demolance the second.
But why is Damon a number one contender?
You'll probably play in the because Thomas is going to be playing in this number one contender match. So
no, Thomas is playing in the championship, not number one.
You know what I mean? But this already sets someone. Now someone in Star Wars gets to the path to where it's going to be Damon versus whoever. That it's the new. It would be a new track.
Be a minute.
Yeah,
nonetheless.
It might be the end of July. It might be the beginning of August.
You're going to see Demolanta play 2 title matches because that match is at Collision, which is at the end of July. Kelly and Demolanta.
I don't like the fact that
in 2 weeks.
I don't like the fact that Damon gets a number one contenders match.
That's how it normally goes.
I would rather let him run through the tournament.
Demolante's going to play Kelly at the end of July.
He could run through the tournament.
Why does Kelly get another? Why does
no? She plays Demolanta at Collision.
Oh, I thought you said Damon. I thought you said Damon. My fault.
No. Yeah, Kelly plays Demolanta at Collision, and then after that, whenever that plays Thomas, whenever the hell that is, and then around that's tournament time.
Well, I'm looking at the Stars roster. There's 4 people we haven't seen play this season. One is Felix, the 2 Barstool guys, and Brittany Young.
Yeah, that's not happening.
We might see Brittany play.
No. I'm talking about the Barstool guys. That ain't happening.
One of those guys a Star Wars dude.
One of them is IG in Star Wars.
Yeah, we're gonna see Zach before we see any of them.
Actually, one of them is singles IG Star Wars. One is just IG Star Wars.
Okay, but here comes. Do you have Damon play a number one contender match? Because if he wins, he can't play the tournament, and you're in the last place.
And you put Burkett. You can more than trust Burkett in a tournament.
Or do you guarantee Damon? I want to guarantee.
Do we?
But Burkett can be a guarantee. That's the thing.
Controversial question: is Damon a guarantee? And how Star Wars is playing nowadays?
I think so. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with him being a number one contender. Who's under him? Molly's lost. Kelly's already in a championship match. Harper's already in the challenge match. So who could
goal leader play somebody?
So it's goal leader versus.
Hey. Just like you had Dan Murrow lost the title.
No, I know, but you can't have goal leader Burkett. Can you?
You could have gold leader. You could just do gold leader and Damon. That would be a great number one contender.
I don't think
they're going to award gold leader a number one contender.
I think gold leader needs to get one more match.
They did the same thing for Jeff. That's my point. Jeff came second in the tournament final for singles. What happened? He was gifted a number one contender spot or number one contender match to start the year.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think you play gold. I think Jeremy Miller's right. You play gold leader versus A. Winner takes Damon for number one contender.
That'd be hot. Yeah, Jeremy might be on the sum.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. I know you all mentioned. Did we say Molly Damon's name already?
Molly Damon
lost.
She's
gonna have to be in there. She has to be in the tournament.
Goal leader,
but it was in a tournament though.
Yeah, but Molly's lost his number one contender match.
Who?
Molly Damon. Her loss was a number one contender.
Yeah,
she hasn't played since, so she's
she's in the tournament.
Hoey won, and we haven't
seen
Hoey
won.
Oh shit! That's it.
Maybe you have Hoey versus gold leader. Maybe Hoey versus gold leader. Winner takes. That I see that as fair.
Like
hold up. To be honest with you, I can't see you throwing Hoey right into Damon. That's
I can't.
Hell no.
I was just my point. Why I said Hoey is we still haven't seen Hoey play.
Yeah, I can see Hoey gold leader.
He's only played one match too.
Yeah,
I can see Hoey gold leader.
And the winner.
Star Wars. No. Yeah,
the winner of that plays Damon, number one contender.
But yeah, because who else do you put? I only put Ace because he was in. But Burkett lost. He lost in the semis.
But he at least had two matches. Hoey's only played one.
He said, yeah.
But he's 1-1.
So that's why it makes sense for him to play 1-0. It balances out.
Right.
I say Burkett. See, it's tough because of the tournament.
Let's not forget Marie either.
Yeah. You got to remember, tournaments are always going to throw things out of whack, Shug.
Yeah, but I was going to say you should have
matches unless it's championship or number one contender match.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying what you should do is put a path for Marie Wilson, Zach Burkett, Ace, Eric Whiteley.
But you're just saying another tournament at that
That's
point.
the tournament.
But you do you do a mini tournament though. But it's not a tournament.
It's still technically like. Here's the thing: when you're only
but that's going to take. But that's going to take some.
Hold on. Listen, when you're only playing an 8-person tournament, and we're basically at the halfway point of the season. That's where we're at right now.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that.
It's not going to work out schedule-wise. Is all I'm getting at. You wanting a mini tournament on top of an 8-person tournament? It's not going to work out. Setting up one number 1 contenders match.
No, you're wrong. Because here's a problem. No, you're wrong. Because here's why.
You're asking for 3 separate matches by doing 4. Naming those.
You know why? Do you want to know why? Because the tournament winner of this tournament plays as spectacular. That's why. Yeah. So you have to have something in between that.
You have to look at last year.
Mm-hmm.
Last year was an asterisk, dude.
Well, no, I'm talking about how the tournament system lasted. How the tournament system.
And how long did it when Ace won the tournament? How long did it until he played in
6 months?
Spectacular?
But here's the thing: these tournaments are probably going to be going on simultaneously, and you factor that in. We're going to get like we beginning. 1 IG or /Star Wars or /teams, 1 IG /Star Wars /teams, and maybe.
Yeah, and let's not act like we're not going to get Star Wars matches before this tournament anyway.
We don't know that. But that's what I'm saying. You can use those as a mini tournament. It's the same way they use last year's the little teams tournament they had with the Pride final exam and exam. That's you're it's not asking for much, Matt. If you're going to ask, you're going to have.
If you're asking, three separate matches, and Christian even said that the tournaments are coming up soon because he told Kate Thomas is depending on how things go for Thomas, he may or may not be available for the tournament. We don't know quite yet. That is what he told Kate. Because that's how soon the tournaments are coming upon us. So you do not have time for 3 separate matches on top.
Let me ask you a question then. So whoever wins the second tournament, when are they going to play? That's way too long.
So what happens if you're breaking out matches?
I think it's way too long.
If you break it up, it may sure the gap in between when it's filmed and airs may be long, but when fans see it and when it's actually happens, like this is a sad thing. This is where we're at. This is why some competitors haven't seen matches for months. That's why Christy and Paige haven't heard about a second match, and we are going way longer than normal. And we should probably just do predictions soon and head out.
Because you got me hot. I want to know about
what I'm. Let me finish. I was just making that point because I looked at the time and But at the end of the day, you have to look at the fact of that it's going to happen in any division, no matter what. That's just how things work out sometimes.
What's going to happen, Matt?
A layoff in between of. So this is when this tournament actually finished filming. It's going to air later. But the winner's going to play spectacular. That's gonna be bound to happen in any division. Doesn't matter which, and we just got to live with it. Like that. That's at the end of the day. That's probably going to be something that happens, and we're gonna.
I don't see the problem with having 3 matches
because you don't have the time. You don't have the time when you're launching 3 confirmed tournaments. 3 confirmed tournaments, 4 technically, but 3 that we know slots for. You break it down. You're looking at, let's see, that's 4. You're looking at 7 Star Wars matches, 7 Star Wars matches, 7 IG matches, and however many teams matches on top of the unknown singles amount right now. Which, if we're taking a guess of 4 person per team per faction, you're looking at the same size as last year. And think about it. That launched in freaking June and launched end of July, didn't finish until end of October.
What started in July?
Singles tournament last year. End of July and didn't finish until like end of October.
It did? I don't think it
started in August.
Yeah, it started in August.
Late July, early August. That's why I said late July. I'm trying to remember the date to be specific.
Well, we're getting more matches this year per week than we were last year as well.
By 1 a day, and that's what allows
we're getting 3 pay-per-views a month. We gotta fill time. And that's at least 5 matches with the versus or the like this Battlefield this week. 1 match. You're just getting 1. Typically, we get 2, and the versus is the 1, but they're not doing that this week, at least to my knowledge. So we have So we have 3 matches weekly, and then the pay-per-view. So at least 4 a week, and then that's already what 16 matches at the least per month, on top of everything else. Like Matt, when do you think the Intergeekdom and Star Wars tournaments are starting? If you had to guess, August? If you had to guess,
no, airing or filming?
Airing.
Probably not till August.
Early to mid-August.
Early. So we have the entire month of July to fill, because Collision's not to the end of July. So Kelly won't play Dimolanta to the end of July. If we're still using Star Wars as the example, but Harper gone next.
Realistically,
and Harper probably won't see that match till late August.
Realistically, you factor in the fact of what Christy said earlier. The 0 and 2, the 0 and 1s are getting their call ups to start filming. So
but that's if their schedules can do that. Let's keep that in mind.
But my point is, you just brought up July.
Mm-hmm.
Think about this: Star Wars tournament started in June. Then we had IG. That was all July.
Mm-hmm.
So we're asking all of the tournaments to start in early to mid August right now, and we're about to start the month of July. My point is, when you have that many tournaments going, that's asking a lot.
Well, because no, totally. No,
and that's my point. Time wise, considering when they're probably going to start airing, it doesn't work like how last year did.
But you'd mentioned last year as the example.
I mentioned last year as the layover example. I said last year there was layovers. Like Ace finished the Star Wars tournament by the end of June. We didn't see him play until December again.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, no matter what, we're gonna see a layover. Period. You're because Shug's like I don't want a layover. It's gonna happen. Period. No matter it might happen in Star Wars. It might happen in teams. It might happen in singles. It might happen in IG. Someone is gonna have to wait. That's just how it is. That's the point I'm trying to make. So
well, you never make good points. So I don't.
So Harper, you think Harper's going to play? And like
giving you a hard time.
I'm not. I'm talking about Harper.
Harper's probably playing in middle of August.
That's what I thought, or late August.
Early to mid August.
Well, because you're talking about layover, so we're not going to have a Star Wars title match from August to Spectacular.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm saying Shug brought up I didn't like the tournament layover. The layover I was referring to was someone finishes the tournament and there's going to be a layover in
sure.
Yeah. And the point I was making is Shug didn't like the fact that we had such a long layover. And I'm just trying to say it's going to happen no matter what.
But Shug also had mentioned that Shug was trying to line up another Star Wars title match after Harper. And you said no.
No, I tried to with Damon. And he's like, well, because I said Damon.
And we're trying to work towards Damon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying Shug's saying 3 matches before a Damon one. I'm saying that's not
real.
No. You mentioned 4 names, Shug. You mentioned 4 names.
I did name 4. I mentioned 4 names.
Let me finish. You mentioned 4 players. 4 players.
Yes.
And the winner of that would play Damon. That's a mini tournament, which 4 players is 3 separate games.
That's 2 matches and then a third match
and a final. No, because you're asking
the finals Damon.
No, it's not. Because Shug, do the math. 2 matches.
Oh yeah, you're right.
The winner of those go to that. Yeah. And the winner of that would play Damon. You're asking for 3 extra matches, which isn't likely to happen.
Okay, so then make it 2. So make it a total of 3.
But that's what we were just saying. You couldn't decide on 2. So the easiest thing to do is look, and this is why you shunned the gold leader shouldn't, because that's why I said you have to look at what we just did for the singles tournament. Hell, even for the IG tournament, the second place winner of IG, Mike Kalinowski, had a #1 contenders match this year right away. Snyder, runner-up in the singles tournament. IG had
the reason I shunned it is because of the performances by Ace, Burkett, and Gold Leader.
So you want to discredit the performances of the people who played in the semifinals last year? The semifinals
of what?
Of the
they got a #1 of the.
Chris, you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying now? He's
I see what you're saying in regards to how last season worked, but last season we also have to keep in mind we didn't know how this year is going to work in regards to stuff. This year is totally different than last year and how everything's laid out. I'm trying to figure out from your point of view, Matt. I'm asking you this directly. So after Thomas Harper, and then we can move on to predictions to end the show. After Thomas Harper, say his match airs late August against whoever the hell the champion is after Collision. Let's just say hypothetically it's late August, August 28th.
I'm gonna go as far as to venture, since that is a digital match that's going to be recorded long in advance. I say we see a quick turnaround for Thomas Harper's Star Wars match.
Okay, so you're saying, so to you, how should we get to? Because we're going to see at least one more Star Wars title match before Spectacular. Because that's almost 4 months off. So how would you go about setting up at least one more title match?
Harper has his title
between Harper's match and Spectacular.
Harper has his titles match. Mm-hmm. Gold Leader plays Damon in a number one contender. Winner of that plays whoever is the champion between Harper, Kelly, and DeMolanta for the last Star Wars title match before Spectacular. Because realistically, that's based off of precedent. That is what makes sense. And precedent has been set before. This is what Christian's done with the runners-ups of tournaments. This is what he's done. If you look at past years even, this is what he's done. The runners-up always have a number one contenders match for their next match. So you can't. I used last year as the example because I'm factoring in the digital. The digital is referring to the layover. Shug doesn't want a layover. It's going to happen regardless, is what I'm saying.
It's not that I don't want layover. That's just too long.
And the thing with last year, so let's use DeMolanta as an example from last year. My man finished. He was the runner-up of the Star Wars tournament, but at the same time, like we needed a number one contender, didn't we, going into this year? Because we didn't have a Star Wars match between June and whenever the Spectacular was in December. So, but now it's not the case.
For one more and we're asking for one more titles match. And realistically, what's the best way to go about pop? Because if you play it this way, you know for sure if Damon or for my example, Gold Leader would be exactly. Otherwise, you get a number of match taking two players out of the tournament. You can't do that, which is why I said Shug's mini tournament doesn't work because you're taking too many players away, and you might be removing players.
Well, depending on what you're saying, you could be taking players out.
Hold on. How are you taking players out away? You have Molly Damon. You possibly could have the loser of DeMolanta Kelly.
Let me finish. And explain.
Like doesn't even make any sense.
This is why I'd be taking away because you're asking for a separate mini tournament and somebody might be coming off of let's say it's Maria. Maria loses twice. That could affect where she might fall on a standings in that tournament in a tournament if she gets to be in it. Because if Christian's talking about if Harper wins this upcoming one, it might affect his availability.
That doesn't even make it, Matt. That doesn't even make any sense. If she loses and she's in the tournament, she's in a low seed. Okay,
I'm basing this off of the logic that the other day Christian told Kate that if Harper were to win the Star Wars tournament or the Star Wars number one contender match, he probably without a doubt would not be available.
And that implies that the Star Wars tournament is later in the year, so we have time.
No, he said without a doubt would not be able to play in the tournament, which would imply it's actually sooner, not later in the year, sooner.
So if this title match is in August, that implies that the Star Wars tournament isn't until at least September. No. We have 3 months to kill.
No, this is 2.5 months to kill. This is he said the number one contender or this next match. He said depending on how if Harper wins, which let's say it's in August, he's most likely not going to be available. Actually, I got to go back and look at it. He might say
if Harper might not wins, be available he wins the belt, and of course he's not in the tournament. It's a title match.
No. And also, he said if Saul wins, Saul might not be able to be in for IG player in the tournament.
That implies because whenever Saul's title matches, which we have no freaking idea when that is, but those are like that's not. We're not going to see that stuff until
I didn't say Saul's title match. I said his number one contender match. If Saul wins,
and that implies then that really implies Inner Kingdom will happen first.
My point is, it implies they're both right around the corner because.
When is right around the corner to you? September?
August, as I said, mid-August.
But Harper, if we said it hypothetically, Harper's title match won't be until August. So we don't even know if he will, at that point, if he's even in it. You know what I mean? So, like, hypothetically.
If Harper wins, he's not going to be available to play, which tells me that turnaround is like that.
Well,
that
of course, if he wins, he's not going to be in it because he'll be the champion. But if he loses that title match.
You know what? Hey, message Christian Harloff and tell him to get on the show right now.
Screw it.
So get this all figured out.
Call him.
All right, let's move on because I got to go eat dinner.
Yeah,
We're talking in damn circles.
Yeah. All right. Skipping Will Slice of the Week this week. Standing.
Will Slice of the Week is opponent's choice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unfortunately. All right, standings. Shug and Chris. Shug's loving that 66%. That's all I got to say. Because he went 2 of 3 last week. So it stayed the same.
God damn it.
Chris is at 47 and 21. I am at 54.
You can say 69%. Nice. You can say that.
All right.
What's up, King? I see you in the chat.
What's up, Con? What's up, buddy? How you doing, man?
At this point, I am just gonna sit back and watch. I'm not like.
All right.
ASG gets it. What's up, ASG?
All right. So first match of the week all started off. You got Frankie Alvarez and Jess Sloth. Sorry, tired. Jess Sloth. And this is a tough one to choose because I am Robot. But they both had, like most rookies for their first showing, rocky goings. And I want to pick Sloth, but the way Frankie's just been talking, how confident he's been, I'm going to go with Frankie.
Shug.
Do I cheat like Matt does, or do I?
No. Be honest with
me.
I
didn't cheat.
Be honest with me, Shug.
No,
I'll take Sloth, but Matt cheated. I know that for a fact. Go ahead.
That's what cheaters say. I think that,
and Christian know because he cheats too.
I cheat? Oh wow! Now I know you're bullshitting. Oh God. I think I was more impressed by Frankie when he played Lomas. I'm gonna say Frankie. No offense, Jess, but I'm picking Frankie.
He sure did.
Yeah, he's using illegal substances.
I am not using illegal substances.
Someone should check his ass.
All right. Second match of the week. That is second match of the
There's so much
week.
I want to say, but I can't. There's so much I want to say, but I
Ty
can't.
Lieberman versus Josh Horowitz.
This is a fun one. This is something we didn't know until a couple days ago. Here, I'll start for my sake. When I saw this on paper, I'm sorry, Taylor. I see you pop back in the chat. And King Khan, I initially was rooting for Josh Horowitz. I like what I've seen out of my man this year, but I think Ty Lieberman's on the play with. I'm rocking with Ty. I'm gonna pick Ty Lieberman over Josh Horowitz. It'll be close. I like to think it'll be close. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for Horowitz though.
I got Lieberman based off of the sheer fact of when I got to pop in before and after really scared quickly. The dude just spews out movie trivia knowledge. It's just great. Like he made all these references, was quoting lines, no issue. I'm like, okay. So I got Ty the Tyrant.
Yeah, I'm going with Ty.
Well, Leo Logan being different in the chat, having Horowitz over Lieberman. Good on you, Leo. I'm rooting for Horowitz. I want Horowitz to succeed. It's okay, Chris. You have the wrong T-shirt on, so you can root for the wrong guy too. Yeah, I'm picking Lieberman for the sake of conversation. Yeah, Taylor. I love you, brother, but yeah, your client, not a fan, Bubba, not a fan.
All right, Shug, who you got for the match between Moose Haas and Amaru Moses?
Oh, you know I'm rocking with Moses. Come on, man. My boy is gonna beat the Moose, and then it's Saul versus Amaru. Oh man, that's gonna be the best. That is gonna be the best match ever. Okay,
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
Let's go.
This is rough. Amaru and recency bias is real because Moose has played sooner.
Yeah, that's you and I are on the same wavelength. It's like Moose has played sooner, but Amaru's had all this time to get better. And
who did Moose play again?
Whitnaben, and like it was.
God, that I might just change my mind.
With the notorious B&G.
Yeah.
I might have just changed my mind.
Like
I was going to say, sorry, Amaru, if you're still hanging around in the chat. I was going to say Moose.
I'm so torn because I'm like, it was Whitnaben.
And that's why. And I think Jesse put up a bigger fight than Whitnaben did in his match.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick Amaru.
Once again, I think Moose was at a better advantage than Amaru was.
Mm-hmm.
One, because of competition. Two, the exchange had been rolling. And he has the Barbarian to work with. Amaru doesn't have anyone.
I'm picking Amaru.
So, like, Moose for a first match debut was in a better situation than Amaru.
Totally.
But now Amaru's also had all this time. So
Amaru was good in his first match with Jesse, and I'm not saying that because my man's in the chat. But like when we first saw him, when we first met him, right, in that match with Jesse.
Amaru, it didn't take me this long. I picked you, homie. I'm rolling with you, dog.
Don't be like that. And my man just gave me more than enough reason to think Moose, but because of how well he performed against Jesse, and my man's had time to sit and study his ass off, he wants to prove he's a number 2 pick for a reason. Yeah. If he loses to Haas,
he's got that pressure on him. I got to go Amaru.
Haas got drafted way later than Amaru did. Yeah. I'm picking my man Moses. I'm picking Amaru.
Yeah, wait, Chris Amaru. Just picked Moses. Oh, I might need to change my pick. Never mind. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, I pick Moose. Pick Moose then. I'm picking Amaru.
No. I've said Moses since the beginning.
So. My man got to live up to that number 2 pick.
Yeah, I
want to see that Saul match. I want to see that.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that.
And last match. Oh. Last match is the Battlefield. Bateman versus Irwin. I'm just gonna say it right now. I want Irwin to win, but Bateman's gonna win because Irwin doesn't prep.
Excuse me? Matt? Can you say that one more time?
I've picked Bateman to win plenty.
Say that verbatim one more time.
I want Irwin to win, but I'm picking Bateman because Irwin doesn't really prep.
Oh my god! Shug, who do you have in this match?
Yes, I did. I said Amaru.
Yeah, Amaru chose you. Do us good, Amaru.
I'm going with Ethan Irwin to beat Ben Bateman and prove to the fact that this decision by Bateman was the biggest disaster.
See, that's why I
ever in Schmodown.
Ever. You are just speaking some hyperbole. So word of the day, hyperbole. That's what's coming out of your mouth. You are wow. Leo Logan in the chat. Bateman will play Merle for a 3rd time.
Word. Why? So he could choke. So he could choke for a 3rd time.
Shug, stop it. If you think it's a bad slice, it's probably over. Nope, Ethan doesn't prep, not at all.
Moses, you see how Matt and Chris disrespect Ethan Irwin?
Did I not
Excuse me?
Excuse me. Oh, sorry, Matt. Sorry, Matt. I forgot you picked these right. Chris.
No, I said I want Irwin to win. I said I want Irwin to win. I picked Bateman, but I want Irwin to win.
Excuse me?
Chris, are you picking Bateman?
No, yo, Zach, I love Zach. Of course I'm picking Ben. Yo, like, Ethan, this match is going to rule, first off. This match is going to rock. Like, this kid had potential. I hate this discourse of match of the year because match of the year is going to be Dimmelon to Damon. But besides that, this could be match of the year quality. Ethan and Ben, 2 guys who've never played each other. These men have never played each other before in any medium, in any division. Bateman doesn't watch movies. I am picking. So, I picked you. Come on now. I'm picking Ben. I'm picking Ben in this one.
Of course you are. Of course you are. Look.
Do I have reason to pick against Ben?
I want Ben to choke. Yes, I want Ben to choke, but I just don't
Shug.
Yes, sir.
What has Ben done this year to make you think that he can't beat Ethan Irwin?
He can absolutely be Ethan Irwin. He can absolutely be Ethan Irwin.
Okay. So why are you giving me shit for my pick then?
But what has Ben done in the biggest moments of his career?
Oh my God! Get over yourself.
Other than
Stop living in the past.
Which apparently Oyama had
right
shit
now.
going on then.
Yeah, Oyama had things going on.
We're talking about right now. I'm not talking about what happened then.
All right, guys.
No. I'm hot now. Look, I get it. We're all about living in the past. I get it because the past is historic and it's great and it's there. It's set in stone, whatever. Fantastic. But right now, with what we're doing in the movie trivia schmodown, dude, like, I get it. Yes, the Lucas Black thing was embarrassing. I totes get it. But how in the hell are we going to keep going back to, but he did this before. What have you done for me lately? That's what we should be talking about. When I mentioned
what was Ben Bateman's what did he do in the first round of his number one contender match for teams?
What are you doing? What do you mean? What are you doing in first
5 points. 5 points.
Well, did they win the match? Did they win the match?
No, they lost.
In the teams tournament?
No, in the number one contenders match against Corruption, he scored.
So did Dan.
I don't care what Dan did. I'm talking about Dan. I'm talking about Ben Bateman.
Dan?
You asked me about Dan. We're not talking about Dan. You asked me what has Ben Bateman done.
Just as 5
points.
Ben is the reason why they stuck in that match too. Let's not forget that.
What else did he do?
What else did he do?
What else did he do? He let Roca stay in a match that Ben should have dominated him in.
What do you mean let Roca do? What are you talking about? He was hear it from his own mouth. He second-guessed himself. Roca wrote nothing down twice. If Roca had wrote something down and was the correct answer, then you can give him shit. But he didn't do that because Roca didn't know the answer.
Gonna be it. I can't wait. I can't wait till next Monday. Oh, the look on your face. Oh, I'm gonna love it. The tears coming down your eyes.
We'll see. When we do Show Me the Real that night. Show Me the Real, which I think will be on Show Me the Money. I think we'll be on Show Me the Money's channel. Go check out Show Me the Real. If Ben loses, I'll cry about it then. But until then, I'm gonna rock with him because he's giving me nothing but.
I love when you cry, Chris. It makes
I'm
me
not
so
crying.
Happy.
I know.
Oh, you're crying right now. You're crying right now.
No, I'm not.
You're crying because I made you take that salsa to the head.
No, it did. Low-key hit me when we were talking about Christy. Wins are still wins. Shug, he's only lost to Corruption. Yo, my man's having a great year so far.
And when he loses to Ethan Irwin?
Wait, what do you mean when? We don't even know. Matt, get out of here, acting like you're not in the backstage. I'm looking at you right here. Get your ass over here. So, with all that being said.
Yes.
With all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching Spin from the Real this week. We really do appreciate the love. Almost 3 hours on a Monday. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, share with your buddies. Check out the other great content we have here on Wild Real Entertainment. Wrestle Reel on Friday, Saber Reels on Saturday, and then Real Talk, a version of it will be going down this Sunday. And of course, follow us on the Twitters down below. Subscribe to the channel. No, Taylor, we can't keep spinning. Matt's gonna cry if we keep spinning. Follow Matt on Twitter at WildMovies_Matt. Follow me at
Go check out the F9 review.
Oh, okay, thanks. I was going to get to that at some point, but okay, cool. Spin from the Real. Of course, you're going to interrupt me. Now I'm plugging you. C. Anthony Lopez on Twitter. That's me. Spin from the Real. The show. Shug9323. Follow my man on TikTok and Twitter. He has it in his thing. Go follow my man. Make sure you show him some love. And yes, thank you so much, Taylor. We got to do Clean Clique. My man may be taking a hiatus.
I tried to avoid it.
One of us is going to do it. You try and you fail. Not with me here.
Chris, are we still doing our Loki review?
We're doing Loki. Want to do it Thursday? Again? Yeah, screw it. Why not?
Are you doing Thursday or Wednesday?
We can do Thursday.
Whatever, buddy.
Let's do Thursday. We'll do Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific to buy my man some more time. So we'll go live 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. You want to talk about some Loki with us? We'll be live here on the channel.
That's
right
Corey.
What's up, Corey? Where you been at?
We go all night.
Corey,
all right, good night, guys.
No, don't end the stream yet. Yo, Corey, I ain't forget about Ghost. Brother. We're gonna get that situated. I know she's gonna keep talking about watch-alongs. We're gonna do them. And this Saturday, 250 subscriber celebration. We're going live at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Pacific, or 9:30 Eastern. We're going live on the channel. We're hanging out. Come hang out. Support the channel. All the Streamlabs are going to charity that evening, and there's going to be.
Wait, what? I don't get paid?
Nope. All right, guys, subscribe to the channel. We'll see y'all next time. Adios.
Have a good night.
Later.